That's how keen he is for this one.
Rightly
so, mate. Rightly so. You know, this is a fun matchup for us, especially because obviously we've kind of been following the story of Eclot. We were there for game one. We're there for the elimination matchup versus Sangal. Yeah. And I think that's a key result, Vince, because we saw Nuke come alive. He went from really struggling at the RMR to showing there is a ton of talent. He can lead by example. He can take space. And damn, is he good at wazdering on entry.
Oh, he was fantastic. Like, he was one of the key reasons why Sangal got beaten down, especially on that Mirage performance. And yeah, I mean, Sangal, let's be honest, they were a disappointment over the duration of the RMR. But you can only beat what's ahead of you, and Eclot did that in spades. So for me, you know, they were discussing about Fnatic and key parts of the puzzle that they need to see show up here and deliver. I'm going to be looking, actually not at Nuke, because I assume he's going to play well again. I'm looking at kreaz.
Okay.
He was very good on Anubis in their first matchup. Tons of impact. If kreaz and Nuke can both pop off, there is really a solid chance for Eclot to get the upset today.
Well, let's find out. We're getting into it. A matchup that's very important for both teams. Eclot, if they survive through this one, there's another game to go. Whereas with Fnatic, they're looking to get it over and done and guarantee themselves a spot towards the Shanghai Major. So a lot on the line. Opening round CT pistol for Fnatic. Eclot on the T side, split push out towards the A bomb site. Natus, oh, we know he can be devilish on this map with a USB. Natus, you absolute madman. Okay, that's a hell of a pistol round.
Holy. Now FaZe has to try and somehow deal with 5. Blink and all of his teammates just go down by the wayside, and Natus with a 4th. Oh, God, they were discussing the importance of this player having some impact, and if that's a taste of things to come, this could be a short day for Fnatic.
Oh, dude. He's fun to watch. He's one of those players for Fnatic that I really do want to root for. I think individually there's a ton of explosive talent there, dude. And you can see it on this pistol. Fast flicks. He does this a lot as well, Vince. He's very proactive in how we've seen them play it. Fnatic have been changing up some of their setups in the CT side over the course of their tenure with this roster on this map. But he's always been a piece that you can rely on. Very aggressive when he feels like he has an advantage. Fights down lane, runs out mid, always looking to scrap.
Yeah, and I feel like he's very much a confidence player as well, because we've seen both sides of the equation. We've actually casted a lot of Fnatic since BlameF joined. We went back to obviously like the Copenhagen qualifiers. We saw Natus really popping off and getting a lot of interest. And when he's feeling it, he really can just put a map to bed real quick. Everybody chipping in for this, but of course it is against the full-on eco round. No post-plant yields, no buy. So not too crazy or spectacular here, as kreaz is going to try and just waste a little bit of time. Maybe try and draw out an extra smoke or HE, just a little bit of utility that needs to be reimbursed for the next. They're not even discussing things with each other, not even treating this like a mini tactical timeout. So it's delaying the inevitable. Fnatic will be 2-0 with no casualties more than likely. No reason for Natus on his 8 HP to be anywhere near the front lines. Just back it off and let time do the rest of the work for them.
Potentially a little bit more money to squeeze out of it for body.
It's true.
But rather than that, mate, nothing really else left to cook on this round. You'd expect it to be a quick trade if they run on in. And body's going to find that one onto FaZe. So kreaz last man to fall, and then like you say, they'll be dialing themselves in a second round. So good start for Fnatic. I think in terms of some of the viewers at homes as well, if you're looking for head-to-head matchups, players to watch, BlameF Detour, that's a bit of a banger for me. I think there's a lot of talent there.
Well, you just see Body giving the middle finger there to his monitor.
Did he actually?
Yeah, he did. He flipped him off. I think he's like, God damn you for wasting our time. Just push us like that.
Oh, mate. What a G. The body bag. Hitting it heavy early on. All right, maybe there's a bit more of that. We'll see. We'll see. Weaponry coming out for the T side of Eclot, though. They got some nades to play with as well. It's the early explosion of utility down onto lane. Make sure you can control the map, and they push with this as well. So deep ramp control already being squeezed out by Fnatic. You've got one lurk on Blitz. He fires off the warning shots, and he's trying to make them think he's here. Maybe there's more squad behind the smoke. In reality, they're bleeding out through mid, and Natus goes down. He loves these mid fights, but on this one, it's no opener for Fnatic.
No, it's Eclot that have dialed in first blood, and it is the key man, Natus, that pushed to the side for the time being. Interestingly, these teams have never played each other before. They have 0 matchups in their head-to-heads. Goes to show the different caliber of teams that they're both playing. Now, you assume that Fnatic have done their diligence and research as much as possible, but there may just not be that much intel out there. And Eclot, making the most of that player advantage, have now turned it into a 2-player. Make that 3, as Body is last man standing with his MP9. Now, they can supply another buy into their necks, but probably want to hold on to the MP9. So, looking as though this will be a 2-1 lead to kick things off. Important for Eclot to get themselves involved in this map as fast as possible. And I think you also saw another component of what we were both really impressed with, because we've been fortunate enough to actually follow a lot of Eclot's journey. We've cast multiple times now. They are extremely good at avenge killing. They never seem to just lose a player on the side of the map and nothing else happens. They're always together in these body systems.
Yeah, the trades have been great. We were really impressed with it versus Sangal. It was a big result for them. Obviously, backs against the wall, right? A little bit scared. Are you going to be able to come back, stay alive? Especially like we were saying with that moment there and the talk back between the desk. You had a chance versus Falcons to close this instantly with a 1-0 start in the pool play here at the RMRs. But simple, 5 HP with an MP9, dives through the site, ties the game up 11-11. It all goes wrong in the OT. So it was a bit of a sour start for them, but they've never given up. And that is sort of the story of this team, Vince. It feels like they've always got firepower. They give as good as they get. Coming into this round, it's the classic again. Bit of a hit towards mid, but Blame F, nice damage, finds 3 frags and rips them a new one straight away.
Now he just body bags the entire team. And although kreaz is giving him a lifeline, he's actually done better than that. He's got them straight back into this round. A 2-on-2, shutting down Nork in the back. And although there's 2 players next to each other for Fnatic on the B side of the map, mid control being forfeit, means that Eclot have the run of the roost here, and that playing behind that smoke, the CTs could be about to walk head to head. Oh, they have no idea. They bypassed it and pushed into cave. And the CTs, they want to have a look. Oh, he spots him in the back. Has a quick peek and nails both of them. The timing there looked as though Eclot were able to just walk their way onto B and get the post plant in.
I thought they got away with it.
Same.
Oh, mate, through the smoke, into cave. But no, Body. Just seeing a bit of the shoulder as the smoke fades, just on the edge of his screen, catches that one. And there it is, that's the full commit. Just in case, he swings, checks it out, finds both of the kills on the re-peek. Oh, Blamef's giving it. Benjamin Bremer. The big man, the boulder. He'll run you down, Vince. Flatten you early if you give him a chance.
Well, he did that last round, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like a scene out of Indiana Jones. There's no escaping him. Nork, though, with the first. And considering that the economy is really rough after that last 2v2 loss, this could push them into an eco. Already losing 2. Mattis aggressive up on the cap once again. He loves this position. And Krim slicing and dicing. But a team damage thrown in the mix as well. And so far, this has been pretty one-sided. Fnatic locking it down, looking like they'll lose no casualties. And FaZe and Detour, do they even want to get into this round? Saving both AKs may be more attractive as a proposition.
Yeah, I think so at this point. Obviously for Fnatic as well, with some of the lighter investment, these 2 SMGs, you can push out the extremities, and bleeding around the back here towards A main is going to be the perfect play. Detour's back's going to be turned. Ooh, no it isn't. Okay, so the AK at least finds the head back onto Nork. Grand scheme of things, it should still be the same outcome with another one being secured by the CTs, but don't give him a chance. There was just shy of 40 seconds on the clock. If you got the frag onto Blame F, potentially a pathway into the bomb site. They are losing a couple of these weapons, but they've still got the rifles in play. 25 seconds on the timer. FaZe, we've seen some great plays from him. It was all the AWP though on Anubis. He was having some show-stopping rounds. This one, uncomfortable, outnumbered. Falls down early, so Fnatic do answer back instantly there.
Yeah, I think that we've noticed with FaZe is he very much is going to make the most of opportunities when it comes to the AWP, but he's typically a lot more comfortable when it comes to static positioning on CT side, as opposed to being more aggressive on the T side. That's where you're looking at Nuke in particular to be that run and gun, just gangster player, slapping people left and right round corners as we saw yesterday. That's where he really thrives. And so far he's been, I wouldn't say he's had a bad start, but he's just been silenced down just a tad because it's Fnatic that have been taking all the aggression. Down middle with that Blame F3K. Mattis on catwalk just basically shutting it down before it could even get started off. And this likely will be more of the same. stacking up over onto A main side. There are 3 players in Donut for a fast rotation.
You had the 2 smokes to try and restrict the vision, but it really doesn't matter. Even blinds, they just find these with ease. Only 1 kill onto Nuke, but no bomb plant, no chance in the round. So Eclot, you're hoping you run out off the back of the flashes, the smoke round towards CT and Temple, get onto the bomb site, try and secure a plant. Not here, though. So that one's dead and buried. Round 7 coming up. Battle of the AWPers for the first time as well. We'll get to see how FaZe's looking on his T side opener with a scope. Same can be said for Nuke here as well.
See as well on the player cams, Blame F, hands in the air, screaming. Vibe check extremely good for Fnatic. Of course, if they win this, they would be through to the Major.
Oh, yeah.
No deciding matchups would be required. The same could not be said of Eclot. So understandable that they want to get this one done as fast as possible. Smokes down, a ton of them. 3 up close, making it very difficult to retain any kind of intel. And Mattis, once again, using that smoke as a bit of an opportunity. Speculative shots through, but nothing really connecting, so he backs away into cave.
Oh, he loves taking these fights.
Yeah.
It's his bread and butter. kreaz at least replies back, but the damage is so much that Body knows he can spam in off the back of the comm. Splintered there through the wood. And that word kind of summarizes how you're going to be feeling here for Eclot. As they have been fragmented, Detour was able to slip up close towards ramp with a window of timing off the missed shot. But Body's good for a second in the round. There's only 2 players left. 47 seconds, the smoke out gives the game away. Krims is able to peek in through the red room, shut down Nubeek. And FaZe, as much as this is his first time with the AWP, I don't really know if we're going to see much from it. Close quarters engagement here as well. It's Krims on the other side of things. He's pre-scoped up. If you swing out, though, 2 angles of elevation, Body in the back line, one of them's going to get the kill.
I almost wonder if it would just be worth FaZe just holding onto an AK this entire half, as opposed to going for the AWP. Because what we know about Fnatic is they love to play very aggressive on the CT side. You saw it again in that last round. It must be so constrictive and claustrophobic, because speaking of which, FaZe, Blame F's going to go for the shank after time. Oh, he spins around. That saves him, at least, from being completely annihilated. It's still a 6-1 score. But we saw there they took mid-control and they had it until like 30, 40 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah.
They had catwalk control with Mattis. Ramp was being pressured in as well. I'm not sure how many opportunities FaZe is realistically going to get with the AWP in this half.
No, it's fair enough. It does feel like kind of one of those games with how in your face we know the CS from Fnatic is, and their CT side of Ancient. You really would be better off in situations where you're wolfpacking a little bit more, playing as sort of the 5 where they can just thrive on the rifles. We saw that looking good for them. That goes back to one of your other talking points, which was it was the trades that were so beneficial for them. Very quick reactions, great comms whenever there's sort of carnage going on the site. I could see that. FaZe, for me, you know, he was the CT boon with the AWP. T side, it just wasn't really the same level of impact. Coming into this one, it's been a bit of a slow start for them, right? 6 rounds already racked up on the CT side of Fnatic. Eclot, you haven't got that much funds left to work with, so they crack open the wallet, invest into some Tech 9s, little bit of utility here and there, use that to defend against the aggressive play on mid-side. So in case someone's running down with the MP9 looking to farm up the cash, getting an AK up close, the Mollies would deny that. They group back up, situate themselves outside of B. They got enough smokes as well. So you can play time on this one. Slow it down a little bit, bit of info towards mid-side, set up for the actual execute on towards the site, and then hope it works well with the pistols.
Lots of hopes and prayers right now, even just for a post-plant at this stage. And by the way, 0 post-plant so far on this half for Eclot. They've not been able to even get it down, let alone defend it, including the pistol rounds. That's how open and shut this half has been for the most part. Flashes up and over. The Tech 9's now going to try and close the gap, get in the face, but well-placed utility fends them off. There's still enough time to reposition and relocate if they wanted to go through mid. There's no one home actually for the CTs, but they're deciding to get into cave. This is where those Tech 9s can really rip and tear. Up close is where they're at their best. So Fnatic, although time and positioning is in their favor with the firepower, they still have threats to contend with.
They've cut noise long enough that CTs are second-guessing themselves a little bit. I think they were hoping Natus was going to swing out on lane so they could engage him with the stack and the Tech 9s and look for that pick. Oh, Natus is here, though, back at the bomb site. 2 clean kills, 40 on the P250, a forward 1, which should give them the plant. But the CTs are right in your face instantly. Unless something wild happens from kreaz, this should be a shut and closed case. And another round for Fnatic. You can always knock on wood to guarantee things go your way.
Knock on wood, nice.
There you go, mate.
Nice. 7-1. First post plant, though. So, you know, going in the right direction at Eclot. Tech 9s, force it, brute force onto the site. But, yeah, there is a big gulf in the ability right now, it would appear. Eclot running out of ideas. This their choice of map as well. You know, we were looking at the top 5 players, and Blame F was in there, and Dust mentioned about how a lot of that was kind of stat padded. The fact he basically smurfed against Rebels, a 2.44 rating. He did drop off significantly against FaZe, but, you know, Eclot, no disrespect, they're not at that level. They're not a tier 1, you know, top 10 team. Oh my god, these grenades, man. Down to 15 and 14 just off HEs. And Molotovs and flashes. Jeez. I mean, the round's basically already done.
Oh. Now it really is. Big body comes in, batters them. COD's on the menu on this one, mate. Ooh. Well, he doesn't spread enough. He's all right in the corner. So 2 players left alive off the back of it. And yeah, I mean, that just goes to show how impactful CT side Ancient can be with the nades. You go for a faster play, you're going to eat the shrapnel, be trapped in position from the Molotovs. They take the forward-thinking position as well, down ramp side. Even Nork, back inside of the donut, favors him so much. Nubeek walks in, bullet straight to the chest. It's going to be another round. It's going to be an 8th on the board here early on for Fnatic. And it does kind of summarize what you were saying, right? Like, yeah, I mean, coming into this game, as much as if you average it out, I think it's close as like a 1.22 when you factor in the other sort of ratings we've seen from Blame F over the event, alongside factoring in the big performance versus Rebels. But he does play better against this caliber of opposition. This is where he wants to gatekeep a little bit more. You know, you're going to see him going in for those plays, looking to try and give himself a lot to work with. You factor in as well, if Body has a big game, that helps massively. Weirdly, it feels like any time they play Anubis, it's Body that's always able to show up and do so much for this side, but seeing him living it large here on Ancient bodes well.
Yeah, we've barely even mentioned Krims, the grizzled veteran that's been, was it 17 majors?
I think so. I think so.
I haven't needed to. He's down at 53 ADR, but not because he's playing bad. I mean, he's just been out of the action. Other side of the map, just big chilling.
16 majors, mate. He's looking for 17th. That's going to tie you up with Shocks and Zipniks.
Got you.
God. Tied for 5th place if he gets back to another one.
Insane. What I also love about that round, by the way, before it slips out of my mind, is that it's so cool that also Fnatic have conditioned Eclot with all of those aggressive catwalk peaks from Mattis, also pushing down ramp, that this round, it's like a teaser. Oh, we're going to get there. We're going to overwhelm you, outgun you, outposition you. And then it's like, cool, we'll just send 3 HEs over. See you later. It's over.
Like this.
Really, really nice. You can see Eclot made the little adjustment, and then Fnatic, we're a step ahead. Like, they read the script, they know what's coming up. And then Body just goes for a wide swing. I think he got a 3K out of it. He's up to 13 frags already. Just Eclot are getting dismantled.
Yeah. I think that's the benefit of Keita as well. You know, Jamie over his career, he's always been someone that loves studying the nades, loves studying the anti-strats. Like, he's always on top of it. Great understanding of what information you need to get out of demos, why it's beneficial. All in all, though, even just down to the bare-knuckle brawls when they're actually taking the engagements right now, it's just looking better for Fnatic. Like, Mattis was having his rounds. Body's been given so much stock for free. I mean, you're isolated again early. Ramp control going in their way. You got the assist from Mattis. Split on the grouping. Snork on the back of the bomb site. But they're playing Pigeon for now, Vince, seeing if there is going to be any aggression from the CT side. Get an initiative off that and then build from it.
And this is the other side of that coin that we were just looking at before. Eclot didn't have great spawns, and they didn't want to force their way up onto Catwalk because they're scared of the HEs and the Molotovs now. And what does it allow Mattis to go through Catwalk? They've already choked away down to 50 seconds left, still have plenty of utility on 2 incendiaries, HEs. They've wasted so much time off the clock. The Eclot are kind of disjointed. 2 players over on B side, 3 on A, don't have mid control, no one's in A main. Like, this is going to come down to the wire, and it's all off the back of how Fnatic have been approaching this CT side so far.
Yeah, I mean, you're hoping, like, you've shown a bit of a hand here towards the B side, reel them out a little bit, and then wrap through mid side, assist the team on the walk up towards A. But time is the issue. That's the 6-man on the server for Fnatic. If they go barreling out towards the bomb site, you find a pick or two, suddenly it all goes wrong. Here we go. They make their move up towards Donut. Close engagement, Blitz with a fast trade, but Nuke lurking around, strikes in, Blame F. Ooh, finds that one onto FaZe. Nuke swings back out, huge manpower advantage, detours down and out, and that's gone.
Yeah, because there was so little time on the clock, there's always going to be angles and positions that you are going to have to basically gamble and hope no one's in. They additionally didn't have any smokes or Molotovs or flashes to proceed the push. I think the only reason they actually closed the gap that much is Nuke went for a rotation from his big box position over on Temple, and he went all the way around to CT side, so it actually allowed them to funnel in and barrage that little bit more. Had he have stayed in position, I'm not even sure they get a post plant out of that round. But they don't care. No. A round loss bonus, a plant or not, doesn't really make a whole bit of difference. It's 9-1. No one in Eclot's over 4 frags. Nubeek's had none of that entry impact that we were looking for.
That definitely feels a lot quieter. Definitely feels a lot quieter. Obviously, you know, going into that Sangal matchup, their elimination game, who's the lowest rated player on the team, skyrockets towards the top off the back of the performance. Ooh, Nuke. He misses that opener. That means Nubeek can activate in this round. Suddenly, this is vastly better than what we've seen before. Not only one opening pick, but you double it up for free, and there's no instantaneous trade back from the CT side of Fnatic, and you're keeping them guessing as well. They dash the smokes out towards Donut. Nubeek can walk in. Body with the timing, clearing around the back. He's not going to get the info he's looking for. That might reel him in a little bit as well. So 2 players still on the site. Body deep on ramp side. They're coming out onto the bomb site now, and they've got nades. He's going to be aware. Penny's going to drop. Turns his attention back towards the site. Faces him through the ramp, but beheaded. He's gone. And this should be a round they can hold on to here, Vince. Should.
Yeah, and realistically it will, because I think Fnatic will be saving. And it may be a bit of a head-scratcher considering they would be into the last round of the half. And they have tons of cash. So I think kreaz actually is going to make a little bit of a Hail Mary and see if he can get some kills down with him. Which would be worth it, right? Because you look at the economy of Eclot for the last round, it won't be great. If he can take another 2 weapons down or weaken them into a point where the bomb detonates and blasts away a couple players, then that actually can have reverberating effects into the next one. Maybe someone's down to a Galil or a Tech-9 rather than the AK. Nice effort from kreaz. But still 3 players remain, and they should be good to get full AKs across the board as a result.
Yeah, that's why I was a bit confused. I thought they were actually going to go for it, because obviously it's far more damage to them than it is to you. You're absolutely minted, right? You've got a ton of money in the back pockets, mate. Some of that's just going to be left in the bank account. Can't hold on to it into the next life going into your T side. Here's what it is. We'll move on from that. I mean, Eclot, 2 rounds. It is a bit rough for them. Not really anywhere near enough of a buffer. Squeeze out one more, maybe a 9-3, a pistol. Then, yeah, we could start seeing if it's going to cook. Ooh, they are turning up the heat, though, right up through ramp. Molotov burning them, but 40 with the entry. Matt is good for 1 at least, but they're all over the bomb site. And Fnatic are fast on their feet. Lineup from kreaz is good. Couldn't get the kill, though. Doesn't convert that one onto the bomb planter.
Yeah, it's unconfirmed as well, but obviously they're going to be going for this regardless. Last round of the half, they still have 2 smokes, a molly, and a couple of flashes. Also, every player has a kit. Already half of the timer, though, has depleted. Fnatic kept to arm's reach by these smokes. Want to try and clear out the double doors first on ramp. And now they can focus their attention to the site, but they've been stalled for so long. It would have to be clean kills instantaneously, and FaZe putting down the 1 frag is probably good enough for the 9-3 scoreline. Eclot will start and end the round in winning ways, but Fnatic with a commanding 9-3 lead come the second half.
You see it on the round timeline even, how uncomfortable it is as well, right? Win the pistol, take the following round, finally 1 on the board. You're thinking, oh, okay, nice start. They can get things going on their T side. We know their T side's always been good from what we've seen throughout the RMRs. That's where they're doing most of their business. And then it goes quiet all the way up until the tail end. 2 rounds. Thankfully, though, it was 2 rounds for them. So there is a little bit of life. just got to grab on with both hands, Vince. You know, it kind of feels like the story of the RMR for them off the back of their opening loss against Falcons has been playing on the back foot, always survival. And that's what's rough for them as well, because obviously no timeline where you beat Fnatic and you're through to the Shanghai Major, you know you've locked in that spot, you've got another game to go. There would always be that outcome. It's only Fnatic that can win this one raw and go straight through.
Oh, you're absolutely on the money. Like, they have constantly been trailing. Like, you look at Falcons, they were trailing for a lot, and they made this comeback. Unfortunately for them, Simple pulled off that crazy play. They go into OT. Against GamerLegion, they were really up against it and made this crazy comeback to win 13-11. They lost the Sinners, and then you look at Sangal, and that was pretty one-sided, but I think that's a Sangal that were kind of their own worst enemy in their own heads. They really showed up to the server. No. Yeah, they were really, really rough. So Eclot are no strangers to playing from vast leads behind and still getting it done. They all seem to have a very good vibe as well, a very kind of good energy. And I don't want to say it's a free hit, because obviously there is tons of pressure. You still want to make the major. But they came into this tournament massive underdogs. And you saw in that last round, I hope that's a sort of declaration of their intentions. Just a straight up hit. We're not going to be scared. We're not going to be pushed back. Nuke in the meanwhile down to 5, but still manages to nail the shot, but that flashbang on point.
It's good from Body. Leading by example in a lot of these rounds. He was great on the CT side. 13 frags at the half, giving himself one more to his total tally here. And that affords them the bomb plant. They're grouping up. 3 players inside the temple, swinging together for the read. Visual contact now at the kreaz. And they're going to go back in. No kit to play with. Time is of the essence, but you've got to bait out the face, and Fnatic are not falling for it. Just shoulder peeks, jiggle, make it uncomfortable. Stay tucked in for as long as possible. Body, he's down and out. Detour with 2. Nork in the back line, keeping him off it. They're trying to find a way to tap the bomb, but there's no real time left on the clock. Even if you find the kills, it's dead and buried. And Fnatic, second half pistol, locked in. Oh, look at BlameF. He's erupted. Oh, he's a Danish volcano, mate. He's gone off.
13 kills to BlameF, 14 for Body. Mattis on around 12. Not having to carry all of the heavy lifting here is BlameF. He's got tons of supporting cast members, and you can't say the same for Eclot, really. I mean, I wouldn't even say there's one player right now that's doing any heavy lifting. Everyone's a little bit on the quiet side. And you've got Detour up at 9, but a lot of those have been in sort of like exit frag positions. kreaz just hasn't really got off to a start yet. Yeah. A player I was looking at, mentioned him in the pre-game segment. Rough around the edges, and considering that we're going to be headed to Inferno next, which is Fnatic's map, but they do have a 29% win rate on, by the way, so could be some potential weaknesses to exploit for Eclot.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird veto. It feels like it does favour Fnatic. Obviously, the bookend there being Nuke at the end as well. It's a bit of a curveball, because it's kind of like one of those where Fnatic make it look like, oh, call the ambulance, but not for me, because they want to play it. They just make it look like they don't really. They've had some losses on it, but they float it, man. It's not like they're uncomfortable going to the map. So if we get there, who really knows how this one's going to go down? At least into this round, though. It's Nuke up top, looking to spray off with the SMG. It's good onto Nork, but T's all over the bomb site. They've taken the territory quickly. For FaZe and kreaz, you're not really going to find much to activate with these weapons. You're just sort of posturing, playing close towards CT side, going to grab the other SMG there, back off with the MP9s, carry those into the next. And if your eyes dart up at that scoreline, that's where it just becomes so rough to play back from. They've come back from really bad scorelines over this RMR, so they're no strangers to keeping their heads in it. Just feels uncomfortable, though, where you're like, oh, Fnatic have so much of the real commodity, racking up the rounds. Feels like they're beating us in the duels. It's a shame. It's a shame for them. But Fnatic looking good at the minute.
Yeah, I would also, add to that point. I completely agree with you. I would argue, though, that they haven't really played against a team of Fnatic's caliber so far.
Yeah.
Like, you can maybe say that, like, Sinners are around the same ballpark. I think Fnatic are a better team, though. You could argue Falcons, but they went 1-3. Their firepower woes continue. They haven't played against Fnatic, and they certainly haven't played against a team of Fnatic where actually pretty much everyone is popping off and looking pretty much immortal at this stage. So that's my kind of concern. Plus, they're on the CT side, and their economy is garbage. Like, having to come through here with 3 MP9 saves with a couple of upgraded pistols, you're eyeing up a 12-3 deficit. That is my kind of problem here with this, and it's because they were so slow to start on that T side. They shot themselves in the foot. Maybe they can retrieve this round, though, with the aggression shown out from kreaz, but an even trade back and forth should favor the Ts under normal circumstances, and certainly will when you consider the lack of firepower and grenades in the back pocket of Eclot. Still a lot of time as well to try and exploit this, and that is why Eclot are getting aggressive into A main to try and take the fight to the Ts and catch them in an awkward position.
Well, Dr. Blitz is in the building. Let's see how loud he can get with the SMG. Good onto the first. Swings back in, but Krims is able to trade, so it is a raw 3v3. That 5-7, if they kept on walking up close towards A main, from this angle, he could deal so much damage. You've seen the head, though. BlameF tucks into the corner to set up for the fadeaway nades, and gets the kill. So no chance for that 5-7 to get impact. And suddenly, round 15 again. Looking damn good for Fnatic. There is a dink on the peak. That's the deagle for Detour as well, so uncomfortable. He doesn't actually grab onto that one. Feeling like he could only see the head, but no death. Just a tag onto Krims. It's down to about 30 seconds on the clock. They're splitting up. Looking to see if they can get a play through the backline first. Decide which side to go to with body picking that one up. You feel pretty comfortable about going in through Donut together. Guarantee the round. And for FaZe, it's all but gone.
Yeah, I think he's probably eyeing up a... Well, I was going to say eyeing up a potential save, looking to upgrade to a rifle on top of that one. And the saved MP9 could have been useful. I mean, kreaz down at 4,500 can get his M4 back into play, but it's going to be at the loss of an incendiary or a HE. In fact, that's been tossed across from Blitz. So never mind. The one player is without that utility. That's nitpicking, though. Eclot do have a solid buy. The problem is the position they're currently in is immensely bleak. 12-3 behind on your choice of map.
Nice! I ain't seeing motherfucking ghost.
Okay, fair enough then. I've had some good comms this game, mate. Energy's been nice for them. Oh, right, well, all over the bomb site. You've got weapons, but will you even really get a chance to use them going into the 16th? You've conceded mass control, you're playing for the retake, they run in, oh, body! Blitz accidentally takes down Detour off the commotion, Nuke with a headshot on kreaz. The round is cratering. And they don't even hang around. They know everyone's wrapped in, so they get out. You've got the damage, Vince. You make out like bandits on the walkaway. They can wrap off, have all the time in the world to make round 16 where they close this first map. What on earth?
It's like they joined the party, they trashed the place, and they're like, right, peace.
Yeah.
We're out.
Were you invited to this wedding? Nah, but I'm going to drink here anyway.
Yeah, have all the wedding cake, leave nothing left. And now Fnatic, all four of them making moves. Now, to be fair to Eclot, they have reacted in a very positive way. They've got onto the extremities of the map, looking for intel, and this will allow them now to maneuver FaZe into position to try and thwart this B push. They also have a flanking contingent in the side. The ankle of Krims is blown off, but he's still able to stand and push close. They heard the tick of the Molotov, but FaZe is up close, trying to rain down death and damage, but instead, he on the receiving end of Natus's AK. And now Blitz, with the arduous task of trying to clutch this 1-on-2. He's got the first headshot for clean, but he doesn't know where Nuke's position is. And he's just hiding in the cave. Oh, he just took a shot. He just gave his position away. He's going to stick on this site right now. But Blitz comes off. He's anticipating the push. Unbeknownst to him, if he just stuck on the site, he could have been okay. But it will be fine nonetheless. Eclot will get their fourth. That was a scary few seconds, though.
Oh, that is a sinking feeling in the stomach. The shot out through cave, he knows. It felt like he was going to stick it. Comes off with the intuition. It does work out in the end. Oh, I thought it got a bit wrong with the timing as well when FaZe was pressured.
Yeah.
Especially with the kill actually being only the confirmation onto the low man, rather than it being like a raw high HP player, but Blitz. He wins that one out. Smart stuff as well for Fnatic, right? Even though it's such a dominant lead, you play it properly. Call in the timeout. Keita gets an opportunity to get involved. You're just looking to close it, really. You know, you've got such a large buffer as well, so you shouldn't really be sweating at this point.
I'm not going crazy, right? But Nuke did take a shot for no reason in cave there. One AK shot.
Yeah, it felt like it was just one bullet, but I don't know what it was at. It seemed like it was just into the wall. Unless he was trying to bait him, but...
Possibly.
I'm not sure what that was, yeah.
Maybe felt as if, like, I've got the wallbang angle, I've got everything kind of going in my control, but, yeah, a bit of a strange one. Maybe just nerves. You know, maybe a bit of anxiety creeps in. Hard to know. I'm just happy it wasn't in my head, because I'm thinking, why would he take the shot there?
Oh, mate. Okay. Well, Nork was fighting the Hat Man in that round, but he's got past it. And Eclot, it might be night-night as BlameF's in the building. Here he comes. The Indiana Jones theme music playing out through middle. He's running you down and Detour up close. That was the head-to-head I was looking for in this game, but unfortunately for BlameF, his head's been taken clean off. Spam through the door. Detour can't find it. His body puts him in the bag. kreaz on the off angle. Natus with a flick on the Galil. Hello, Natus. And potentially goodbye, Eclot. Only FaZe left, trapped inside of the donut. The missed shot, body will take it. Fnatic with the map in the bag, one away from making it to the Shanghai Major.
Well, if it isn't my terrible opinions. Yeah, Fnatic absolutely the superior team across the board on Eclot's map.
They've typically been playing a lot of online Counter-Strike. Dust was talking about the fact they're in like ESEA Advanced, etc. So this is quite a significant step up. But unfortunately, it seems like they've met sort of like their ceiling for the time being, at least on Ancient. Now, was it nerves? Was it them getting in their own heads? Possibly. You know, they don't have the experience at this kind of level, and it definitely can affect players and it can affect teams. But the nature and how they were so disjointed on some of those pushes on the T side is a little bit concerning. The good news, though, is they start here on the CT side. So in terms of static play, FaZe potentially able to get that open play early on and do some damage. But I need to see more from kreaz. I mentioned him as a player to watch out for. He had 3 kills on Ancient with like 30 ADR. Let's see if he can get it done.
Well, let's see. It's already into this one. Fnatic, they've got the right idea in mind. They've read the pistol round perfectly. Instant smoke up on the brackets. You get the split onto the bomb site. CT's caught completely unawares. FaZe with 1 health, able to at least get the fadeaway shot off on the Natus before he's put down in the dirt. But the bomb site, that's all Fnatic. Oh, you wanted kreaz to come alive, Vince. And he's going to be able to give you something to root for with the Julies. All over the site, they can commit to the defuse, jump straight on that one. Nuke looking to finish it off, and Crims on the walk-up gets his head taken off. So for Eclot, at least the pistol, it's a great recovery. Look rough. Fnatic coming into that one, they've done their homework. Knew how to counter the opening pistol strategy instantly. Slip onto the site, but the retake's good. And that's something that it felt like it really is sort of the story of this series. Just seems like Keita and the team there have done so much prep work coming into this one. The utility damage on the previous map, absolutely ridiculous, Vince. Between Body and BlameF, you had 623 utility damage. They were getting away with liberties, the nade stacks, the reads, the anti-strats. It was all there. Hell, even the way they kind of lured them into the pick, it felt like that was a bit of a smoke and mirrors game as well. Like they've clearly done their research going into this game.
100%. I think it goes back to what we were kind of discussing now. I think we may have a bit of a tech issue here. Obviously, Blitz is at spawn and hasn't moved. I heard some typing as well. So hopefully that's going to get remedied shortly. But I think a lot of it was based off them basically being kind of mind game and conditioned into playing more passive and staying at range, because the rounds they tried to push in is where those HEs were flying in, where that crazy amounts of utility damage really came to its forefront. So it goes to show, like, a lot of the time in these kind of stomp matchups, we just look at a case of like one team is just so much superior in terms of their mechanical aim, in terms of their like crossfires and all these kinds of elements. But Fnatic were so far ahead tactically as well. Like in almost every single facet of the game, they were head and shoulders above their opposition. And the reason I was speaking about kreaz, by the way, is we've got a little bit of time here with the tech issue, is that on the first map against Sangal, they won it 13-10 on Anubis yesterday. Obviously, we got a chance to cast this game. It was kreaz that was absolutely on fire. 103 ADR. He had himself 17 kills, but 12 assists. He was present in so many trades, so many kills when they were getting aggressive on the CT side, and that's what I expected to see from him on Ancient. So they're starting on the CT side now of Inferno. This is where I'd love to see kreaz get more activated, because I think the spine of the team is really behind him and Nuke. If the two of them are doing well, typically Eclot are going to follow suit.
Yeah, it feels like, you know, there is another duo there as well that weirdly, statistically, we're expecting to do a bit better that haven't been able to show up as much, like FaZe CT side Orb.
Yep.
He gave us a lot to root for. Not so much there, just wasn't able to find it. Detour as well. As much as he hit a couple of nice shots, it wasn't that same sort of rifle powerhouse I was hoping for. I thought him versus Blame was going to be a really good head-to-head. We're going to see trades of blows there. Just wasn't really the case. So they do have the talent. It's just about bringing it out. I mean, in terms of this event, you think back to the GamerLegion matchup as well for them, right? That was an 11-4 score at one point in favor of the GamerLegion camp. Somehow, some way, Vince, they just didn't give it up, didn't go down. They ground out those rounds time and time again to go on to win that one. And that was a bit of a head scratcher for me. Like watching that game, I thought, okay, this is over. It's going to be a really bad start to the RMRs for Eclot. Seeing them bring that one back, it made you believe, like, yeah, this team actually does really root for themselves. Like, they've always had good energy. When we've cut to the player cams in the other matchups we've seen, it feels like they do hype each other up a bit. Like, it's never sort of like, oh, this has gone wrong. It's a bit more of like, shake it off. Let's get back in. So I think they have that potential, but again, like we say, you can see in this series, there's telltale signs of sort of the Hydra, you know, the big three heads that can do so much for Fnatic, sort of putting their noggins together, right? BlameF, Body, Keita. They've clearly looked over this team and know what they need to do to make it uncomfortable.
Yeah, you can see that they have done their homework and made sure that no stone was left unturned. And understandably so, man. Like, if they win this, they are through to the major. They don't have to play later on today. They don't have to worry about how the other matchups kind of play out. And if they fade away into obscurity, like, they are actually at the major. And they're going to have the ability to maybe be an upset team, maybe go through, like, the opening stage and be really in amongst all of it. So you have every reason to do as much homework and swatting as possible when it comes to this. My issue for Eclot, and this may sound a bit harsh, and I could be proven wrong, and I hope I am, you don't know if you'll ever get this opportunity again in your careers. As I said before, they have not been playing consistently at this level of Counter-Strike, any of these players, realistically. They may never get to another RMR. They may never get to a stage where they're playing this caliber of team. Like, you are on the brink of elimination. You are facing it down the barrel of a gun after an incredibly one-sided game. If you can't get up for this game, if you can't manage to find that next level or that spark, then are you human at that stage? I mean, obviously you can get overwhelmed with the situation at hand. You can kind of revert into your shell a little bit more and play a little bit more passive. But we saw that on Ancient, and you saw what the result was. That does not work against a team like Fnatic.
No, absolutely. And obviously, you know, it kind of furthers your point because it is a very different landscape going into next year with 2025, right? Like the RMRs are gone, so you're not going to have those open qualifiers, an opportunity to grind it out. And that's where they've kind of played some of their more historic CS, is it's always domestic games, online games. They play a ton of Counter-Strike, and, you know, we've seen that with the rise of the sort of Tier 2 scene over the course of CS2, where physically you were just playing so many officials. When those qualifiers rolled around, they were able to steal away spots from teams that potentially aren't sort of facing that caliber of opposition. Catches you off guard a little bit. It presents opportunities for Cinderella stories like this. But I'm right there with you. You know, it'd be a hell of a way for them to sort of prove, like, yeah, look, we had a rough run. It wasn't easy. We didn't get easy games. The seeding obviously, you know, makes that a lot harder this time around. So you've got to try and beat whoever's in front of you. You start off really slow at the RMR. It would be a story where effectively they reverse sweep their way through, have to then go on to play a BB, I think, off the back of this as well, if you win this one even versus Fnatic. So it's no instant major. And that's for all 5 of these players to have their debut, their moment in the sun, their stickers, their legacy. So yeah, I get where you're coming from with that angle.
And I mean, when you consider that, you know, their players aren't super young either. Like, I'm looking at the ages now. kreaz is 26, Nuke is 27. You have Detour that's 21, so a bit on the younger side. 23 as well for FaZe. So for some of these players, they have. This is the first time they've really peaked at this kind of level in their entire career, and they've probably played more already than they're going to play in the future, if that makes sense. They're past the halfway mark. So that's the importance of this game. Dreams could be made and shattered right here, right now. Eclot, though, have Detour's PC back underway. It was his PC that had the tech issues. Good to see. And we'll see if they can hold on to that 1-0, or if Fnatic and their full-on investment for Spy are going to bring them back down to their knees.
Well, it's back to brackets. FaZe gets the read, but falls off. He's looking to stay alive. Keep at arm's length, because those pistols can be lethal up close, but the one-for-one trades are painting an uncomfortable picture. But luckily enough, Nuke down in the boiler. Goes back onto Blame. Oh, Detour, you got to win that one. I mean, the bomb's down. And luckily enough, Blitz on the re-swing is able to finish it off. It looks a little bit scary, but they get it over the finish line. Tons of damage onto the CT side there, though.
Yeah, tons of damage, but I'm not sure that they'll pull the trigger and go back in again because of no post-plant. And so, although you've done damage, there's actually a very good chance for Eclot to build that economy back up again into this round. Assuming, of course, they don't take any casualties and FaZe can put that MP9 to use for his AWP fund. There are going to be plenty of deagles. Effectively a deco coming in. The P250 also tossed in for body, so it affords him the smoke and the flashbang. But yeah, Eclot should be able to put this one to bed pretty convincingly and build back up that money. Getting super aggressive, though. FaZe straight down mid.
Oh, okay. Eco bash your way through this one. You've sniffed out the ecos. You run on in. And make it look good. Only the one casualty there on FaZe. So you're happy with that. He was able to get a bit of cash flow going as well. So the AWP can be brought straight back out going into the 4th round. And it's a vastly better start. But it's all about the longevity. And that is something, a word that really is going to be lingering over their heads, right? Because this is just the start of their day, Vince. You'd have to play all 3 maps here in this series, take down Fnatic twice, wait in the wings for your following game towards the end of the day. At no point does it feel like the job's done. You've got to fight to the bitter end of the European RMR. FaZe setting up, looking like he wanted to go for the totem pole peak, but doesn't fancy his chances on that one in the end. They posture off, and already with close control being taken up inside of the apartments, you need to back off on this. kreaz through the smoke, replies onto Crims. 4 versus 4, he tucks back in.
I can see that threw them out of their rhythm as well. Like, they wanted to go for that boost. They kind of stalled it a little bit. A lot of conversation you can see from the perspective of FaZe. Almost looked at his teammate, and his teammate wasn't moving. They get caught in transition. Really scrappy from Eclot. Haven't been fully punished for it, though, but Mattis is now making moves up on Arch. Taking 3 players and putting them over on the A site. This leaves Blitz by himself, and he only has a flashbang left. 50 seconds on the clock, though, and FaZe with the AWP makes the most of it. Plucks out Mattis. Aggression from kreaz. 2 players up close. Spray is good. Transfers across to the AK to replenish the magazine. And looking good for Eclot to dial in a 4th. Again, a lot of casualties. But a 4-0 lead is exactly what they were hoping for.
It looked really scary when you were looking at the nades as well, because I think, you know, just Detour on the back of the site, right? Just that one flashbang. They had a single smoke, but that was towards Arch. So no real utility. Potential there where you could have been able to get that one over the finish line, but equal trades. Heads up play from FaZe as well. Peeks in towards brackets, finds the man in the cubby. Jamie taking a close look at the monitors here as well. It's tactical timeout, body getting the comms across. So a different opener. Feels like a vastly different game as well, you know. It was almost like Eclot couldn't buy a round on the previous matchup for love nor money. Here at least, showing signs of life. And again, you know, this is their bread and butter, Vince. They play these sort of games. It feels like the whole RMR. It's been all the pressure on the world on your shoulders. They've been able to hold it up for quite some time. Will the knees finally give out? At least here in the 5th. Obviously, there isn't really much to work with. You've got the 1 AK in the hands of Blame. Utility to play off it, though. They do have nades. Oh! They might not need them. Blame F. The skull cracker comes out.
It's a lovely shot. Decent damage. Oh, wants a detour as well. I was about to say that they've repelled this push with a HE, but Body and Blame both struggling. Blitz takes it back into an even keel. Picking up the AK as well in the meanwhile, but there's another HE. Tasted their own medicine to a certain degree after Eclot were being barraged off grenades on Ancient. I mean, you put into account as well that Fnatic have got a bit of a rough win percentage when it comes to Inferno, but they are playing against some of the best teams in the world. Their last loss was to Na'Vi. 13-9 earlier on in the RMR. As Mattis has put one more body to the deck. They have got an M4 on top of it right now. And Nuke's going looking, hearing footsteps. He'll know they're about to come into his crosshair. The first frag is so labored, though, that he gets punished on the trade.
Oh, that is not the Nuke we've been seeing over this event.
Not at all.
Mate, that felt so awkward. And you've given them space. I mean, they get on the bomb site because of it. That one slow play on the peek out could have been 2. Instead, now you're down to a 2v2 with the bomb site in the palm of the hands for Fnatic and kreaz. He jumps up, spams a few warning shots in towards the smoke. Posturing out, though, Detour on the run with 23 HP. Yeah, that's the round gone. They don't feel comfortable going for it.
Understandably so. You got Forsey down at $750 before the end of this round, so supplies you with another buy into the next. But Fnatic, I mean, it could have gone the way of Eclot. Like you said, it's so against what we saw from Nuke yesterday that was not missing a single frag. The way he played yesterday, if you showed me that clip, I'd be like, oh, he kills everybody.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's just gone.
He had the read. He was ready for it, but, oh, I don't know. If that was a track and trace, mate, that parcel's gone. You're not getting that one back, Vince.
Well, I mean, the good news is it may be a bit of pill to swallow, but you still have a very solid lead and the opportunity to come back with another full rifle round. But when you consider how one-sided the opening trades were with the HEs and banana control going against them, as you can see here in the highlight reel, it is very surprising that Fnatic were able to bounce back and remedy the situation. The battle for banana continues. That is a hefty grenade, though, down middle. Nuke takes the brunt of it.
Oh, unless we forget as well, right? It was the 1 AK in the hands of Blame. That's all you had going into that. Like, super limited utility, basically pistols. And with a start, it felt like there was no right for it. But Fnatic, they got plot armor. Luckily enough, though, the protagonist for Eclot punishes down inside a banana. And Nubik's able to get the walkout through the smoke on a Mattis as well. You grab onto this one with both hands. Don't let this go down. 5 versus 3 advantage. Bomb on the back of body. He's lurking towards bottom mid still, seeing if they're going to initiate a flank. But it's just Forsey with the AWP. He can post up. No nades for him, so it's bone dry on the bomb site. Could come back to haunt them. Still a lot of utility left. 2 smokes, Vince.
Yeah, 1 CT, 1 coffin, so you can go front of site if you want to try and lurk through there. But of course, we have the benefit of seeing this. When there's 5 players left, if you're Fnatic, you assume there's 2 on B. And now that will be the case. Blitz is coming in. He's on the Speedway side, just waiting. With the flash or smoke, and it's allowing Detour to push down middle. There was a small opportunity for the 2 Fnatic, but they were unaware and not able to exploit it. kreaz, though, is keeping this round alive by the thinnest of margins. While Blitz tries to deny the bomb plant, had the right idea through the smoke, but doesn't fully capitalize. And now it's all on kreaz. First spray is on point, but an easy avenging kill will put Eclot into a comfortable 5-1 lead.
Delicious kills, though, from kreaz. Really nice to see him hitting some tasty shots, mate. The Sweet Rice Peak. Pure Fuego with the connections. But 1 to 5. Another timeout going to be called in here. Second for Fnatic. I think maybe there's a world as well where he does just continue. And they're running at him, you never know. Some of those old school kreaz rounds, it would have been lovely to see. But for Eclot, it's the dream scenario. Seeing the hand motions there from Jamie. What's he cooking up? What have they got in store?
You always see flashes from kreaz. Like we've casted this team a lot over the last couple of years, and he'll have a couple moments here and there where it's like you're back at 2014 again.
Yeah.
And King kreaz is on the server, so you can never take anything for granted against him. I always have like a little bit of a heart palpitation watching him in clutches, because it's like it might happen. It might happen. It hasn't so far in this tournament. That's not to say it won't. Mattis up at 4 frags as well in a pretty rough T start. Grenades have really been on point as well for Eclot, to be fair. There's another one tossed straight down at T steps, and it's another warhead going off. Body's down at 6.
Oh, that is sick. And it's funny, right? Like you literally said, they're giving them a taste of their own medicine. Yeah, like the nade setups we saw from Fnatic were fantastic on Ancient. Some of them literally innovative with the way that they were playing it. But here, you're getting hit by the HEs. Shrapnel for breakfast. And that is not a very healthy diet. Leaves them low. Minute and 10 seconds on the clock. You can set yourself up for the play still. They've still got utility to go for the run out, but the problem is those nades leave you so susceptible to a quick tap from the A1S. Requires far less ammunition, but the timing on it. He turns to give his teammate the flash. Blitz goes back in. Equal trades, but they're finding a little bit of space here and there.
They still managed to push onto the site, but there is a flank in play from kreaz. 40 seconds as well, enough time for him to spring into action. He desperately needs his teammates to survive. He doesn't necessarily have to flank either, though. It goes two-pronged. On the one side, you can wrap around the CTs. On the other, find information and allow them safe passage back over onto A. And it's going to be the latter rather than the former. So he's now up close. You will not anticipate this position. They'll know that mid was left completely bereft for quite some time. I'm just amazed at this over-rotation from Eclot. Not even keeping one player on A in all of this time is going to allow the post-plant to come in. And although kreaz a little bit off on the spray, still nails the frag. Has gone down to the hands of kreaz, though, and Eclot maintain the player advantage.
That's absolutely owned them. The flank has done so much. You can see the instant call. Like, he knew the site was clear. He got so much of a read from it. They wrap off. Eclot thinking, okay, where are they? They've gone, they've disappeared. Suddenly they're at the bomb site. Bomb's so far ticked as well. You've got kits, but only a single flashbang. That's in the hands of FaZe. It goes over the top. Not really going to give you much to work with, though, especially as Nuke gets two. All right. Round's dead and buried. Blame with the last one. Mate, that's ridiculous. kreaz with the info play gives them all the room in the world to rotate, and they take another round because of it. That's 2 rounds that it feels like Fnatic are basically getting, with nothing, Vince.
It's a really good read from Fnatic there, honestly, like spot on. On the same side, though, Eclot, they had plenty of surplus players. Like, they can keep one player over at least around like Speedway or library side just to be a bit of a forward safety net, a tripwire to go off. Reverberations are felt in this M4, and that's pretty much it with some 5.7s. So Fnatic may have had a slow and rough start, a bit turbulent, but they're looking for cleaner air now. kreaz, though, puts that one rifle to use and allows them to upgrade to an AK. Maybe this round still has a sting in it yet for Fnatic.
Code kreaz as he checks out with the first one onto Nemiga. And with really limited firepower to play with, Eclot, they're going to be antsy. They're going to be so uncomfortable. You wrap back over kreaz. That's the rifle, the only one on the server for them. Wrapping over. Luckily enough, he's got his hands on the AK, but he doesn't put it to good use. They dive out, 2 separate angles, all over the bomb site once again. At this point, just hold on to what you've got over at B. Give up the round. That's going to be a third for Fnatic. Obviously, going into it, it was just the A1S. That's basically all you were banking on. You're hoping you win your duels, start to get a manpower advantage. Oh, but on the walkout, Blame F waiting at the bottom of Banana. Yeah, there's going to be some money, but it's nowhere near as good as it could have been.
Yeah, it's huge. A couple of frags at the end is massive. I think with the saved M4, they could have gone in for a buy. It wouldn't have been ideal. It would have been a difficult decision. I mean, you have a lead still, so you don't have to, be desperate and snatch at an opportunity. But players around mid to high $3,000 means I saw a scout picked up an M4. And that's, for me, where Blame is honestly at his best, when he's making these sort of like late round reads. He's got a very good mind for the game. There's a step ahead of the opposition, Natus. Immediate headshot to Nemiga, trying to get aggressive, just caught off guard. You can understand why Eclot have gone for the aggression there through middle. Trying to find any advantage they possibly can, especially when they have no utility realistically to play with. Detour with the pop flash into the smoke, but no one is home, and Fnatic just making a move onto the A site. Gonna be a 4th round.
Yeah, well, Matt is getting that kill on the backstab, and kreaz holding for the flank out. I feel pretty safe that everyone's rotated off, no one's there. The welcome mat's down, they're going to walk on in. Once again, another A-site plant for Fnatic, where they should be able to get this scoreline only 1 round away from equalizing here into the second. Oh man, that's Mattis. Obviously staying alive off the back of the initial tag on the swing out towards mid. plays possum inside of the underpass. Second kill's a good one, gives him so much of a read. Don't have to run the risk of running into the stack, especially with the flashbang that was thrown out on B. Detour, his P250s look crisp in some of the games we've been seeing. Only a single crisp on that one, not the full packet.
Yes, with 1 down at 12. Here's a goner. Crims nails him. And a lot of Eclot's success early on in this half was based off banana control, based off a lot of chip damage from grenades. Last couple rounds, they've been a little bit more tentative. Yes, their economy hasn't really supplied that, so be very curious to see what their approach is going to be here into this round, because they had such a fast lead, it slipped away. The momentum now, I think, is pretty much shifting in Fnatic's favor. Body sticking with a MAC-10, interestingly enough. Anticipating lack of head armors, there's 3 players in that field, Nuke, FaZe, and Detour. And this suggests we're going to have a hot and heavy round from Body at least. Going to try and get up close with a good grenade damage early on. But FaZe just walks through mid by himself. No flashes or lurk smoke. What is that?
He's trying to fight second mid, just gets beheaded from T-steps. Mattis on the run out. I mean, kreaz gets 1 back, sure. 4 versus 4 though, you're going to take this on the T side every day. You can still convert from this massively. And so much time as well. Both of these initial openers, mere seconds into the round. You had chip damage onto kreaz. He's left on 45. Oh, Detour spams the smoke. Baits out the shots back from Body's back end. Over the top blitz! Oh, he's blind. Detour's only able to get 1, but he switches to the sidearm. USP, good through the smoke. The carnage at the top of Banana, and it leaves us in this position. 2v2, smoke up. kreaz quick on the rotate. And Nuke looking to link up with him, play together on this one. Blame F commits to the plant, punches in the digits, sets themselves up for the round. HE over the top, break the smoke. Deep on that one. He was hoping to get splash damage across towards pool side, but they just tuck in. 1 player in pool, Krim supporting close on the smoke, looking towards the run out. He should hit this shot as well, AK. He's going to be ready. Tapping out, commits to the spam. They're getting close on the side, but you've got to assist your teammate on this one. He's trying to reel them in. Krims is able to find it. So much time gone. And kreaz dead and buried, courtesy of Krims.
9 kills to Krims, a 2K in the round as well. And Eclot down into an eco. It's so perplexing to me, though, that FaZe peak. It's like, typically, if you're going to try and take second mid, you throw a lurk smoke down, you have a second player that's going to be able to watch your back, so you can get that counteractive kill. Also, it felt like he was just completely off on the timing. Like, that has a window of opportunity that does close fast once you know the T-steps push is coming through. The freest of kills to Fnatic. And puts them into a really commanding position now. Considering how rough this game started out. Again, top of Banana is going to be pushed into. Detour taking so much damage. The trade back and forth. The MAC-10 spray is good as well. The thing is, for Eclot, they don't have much in terms of grenades, and they've just thrown the last HE out. And it's not going to capitalize onto bodies. So it feels like they've made their play. They've had their power play. It's not quite worked as strongly as they were hoping for.
So it was a missed smoke on the opener. Lands up on top of the buildings. Nades go in, exchange of blows. Ooh, kreaz. 5-7's good for the instant tap onto Body, but Nork, he finds the peek back onto Nuke. Mattis and Co, a little bit paranoid about where he's gotten to. They know he was out on second mid, but he slivered his way out through the apps, walking up towards balcony. FaZe inside of the smoke, but Krims is in mini pit. He can just hold on this one. When the smoke fades, he's got to read, he's got the AK. FaZe, if he's unaware, he'll know now. Spam shots go out. He's got to get this off. He's just running through the smoke. He doesn't know where he is. It's all getting confusing. kreaz has to do the footwork for him. And the other T's are still oncoming. Up through quad side, it's Mattis walking in. Nork to support through the balcony peak.
He was so confused, he got dinked in the smoke, spinning around. They know that a player is on the site, but the Molotov is in the wrong position. And now kreaz, oh, the 5-7 at that kind of range can seriously harm. Smoke out. Fading away the CTs, and the post plant comes in. Detour very low. Eclot into a position now where saving may not be good enough. May have to go for this one. FaZe trying to sneak his way through the smoke. And Nork is having none of it. With Detour's low HP, there's no way forward. He has to save. And Fnatic, they'll take the lead.
Oh man, some of these moments for Eclot. This feels so weird, so uncomfortable. Try as you might on that one. You make it look close, make it look like maybe there is a timeline, but it's the key word being there's only one player on the site. They'd already wrapped off, expecting a late flank back towards B. Rifle wasn't there, no room for the trade. Usually that's been the boon of Eclot, right? Like the trade game's always been sick. They set themselves up in these angles to play off one another. Instead, if that 5-7 doesn't find impact, which it didn't, Fnatic have all the time in the world to set up, close the round. And now you lead 6-5. They're in charge of the game.
Well, at least for Eclot, they have a full investment and they have an AK in the hands of Detour. So had a pretty solid start. kreaz, good to see him lighting up the scoreboard once again on 14. Good amounts of damage from both of them. High ADR. This time the Fnatic are mixing it up. Way less involvement on Banana early on, holding on to the bulk of their grenades instead. A Detour down to 39. He's going to be struggling. Have to play a way more passive angle for the CT push instead. That's going to put more pressure as well over on the B side. Eclot may have to retreat over a third player, and that's where Fnatic could find themselves a vulnerability to exploit.
They group back up late round. Free smokes, 2 flashbangs. Molotov supporting that. Blitz playing anti-flash on second oranges. Detour close, throws out the nade, tags him, slows him down somewhat. He's going to pop that one in the air, peek together. Blitz is good for the instant turn. 1-for-1 trades. Body tries to deal damage, but he's taken out by Blitz. Blitz flashes himself back in, but they peek ahead of it. BlameF gets the better of him on the engagement. Bomb can be planted again. 2 versus 3 on the B bomb site. Feels like we've seen this a couple of times now. Nubik tucks in. If Naught clears it, he might suspect no one's coming in. He'll wrap around, turn his attention back onto the site. Goes in for a second look though. Oh, wins the duel against Nubik. Oh, mate. Every time it feels like they've got a bit of a chance, a window of opportunity. It's slammed down on him by Fnatic, and BlameF is licking his lips, waiting for the run-in, but kreaz strikes against him. Problem is, though, you can spam through the smoke. You know where the lineup is. Bullets on target, tagging the back. Forzy's not coming off. He just sticks it.
He may have assumed he got the bomb planted there, the diffuser I should say, but had to go back in for seconds and slightly off on the spray. Gives Eclot a 6th round and overall a dead even affair going into the second half. Eclot started razor sharp, 5-1 lead. Fnatic bounced back with a vengeance. But it has to be highlighted that the T side on Ancient for Eclot was shambolic. Different map, different ball game, sure, but they were being bullied and pushed around. We'll see if they've managed to find a way out of that confrontation. But when you consider like Banana control is going to be a very hotly contested area, mid, second mid, we know the Fnatic likes to push into apps in particular a lot of the time, try and wrap around. We see Crims do this a lot. BlameF is always involved. It's up to Eclot now to win us over and make us believers, because that Ancient performance definitely made a lot of people lose faith.
Yeah, I think so. It's scary as well, because this actually could have been an even better scoreline for him. Like 2 rounds throughout that initial half, right? Never should have lost. One of them's literally BlameF with an AK, everyone else with pistols. You somehow lose that with a Nubik run out towards mid-side. The Crims rotate as well. Like, baffling rounds at times. It's all even. It's tied up 6-6 going into the second half. Pistol. Feels like Fnatic have had their number on a lot of these rounds as well. Like Natus has been looking crisp as always with the pistols. Tons of reliable pistol players for this team. They did lose the opening pistol on Inferno, but the anti-strat was good from them. Have they got a read in the T-side pistol? Natus expecting the walk up. That man always delivers with a silencer. Tap onto the head of Nubik. If they peek towards mid-side, it can be a 2-player swing. One of them should look for the trade. You still have the advantage. Detour's angle's known. Nork's looking for this. The rest of the Wolfpack though, Vince, down towards bottom mid still, grouping up. Timing on it's going to be awkward.
Timing on this apps peak as well could work out so favorably for Fnatic. Detour though in the bedroom. He's waiting. will be able to capitalize onto body. May not anticipate that Mattis has already pushed around the side. He spots him, but he doesn't want to give his position away. Because as long as Detour is in bedroom, there's a chance that they could rotate back around onto A, and that is where Mattis's position can be fully activated. So staying in as long as possible, he sees no more players pushing, and this allows them to keep 2 over on B, and now they're making a move across. They have no idea where Mattis is. With 30 seconds left, and how good Mattis is with the USP, he could shut this round down by himself.
Oh, Mattis on the walk back in. He goes up. Detour hits it. He's gone down, Vince. Trying to build them away into this round, but they've got no bricks left. Nork in the back of the site. Can he still build a way in? Slapped upside the head, finished off by Detour. 10 seconds on the timer as they will get onto the site and get it down. A pistol round that had so many small contingencies that Fnatic should have been able to win this one. And now you're thrown into the retake, 4v2 with Eclot in good positions.
Oh, the timing on that for Mattis, he's going to be so frustrated. And it's almost like Fnatic were banking their entire setup on Mattis's spot there. The second he turns his back, they push mid, and he gets caught from the bedroom player. Looks like they're going to hold on to this Kevlar as well. No health lost on either Crims or BlameF, so a save coming through, and Eclot regain the lead one more time. That's a huge boon, a huge bonus towards their T-side endeavors and prospects too. It felt like a super important pistol round for Eclot. And Detour with 3 jumps up to 14 frags. They have the 2 top fraggers on the server, kreaz with 15. And now a chance to cook a little bit more. But yeah, man, that timing on Mattis turning to go back into apps, like, that is the thing of nightmares.
I know, dude. Like, obviously, that's the beauty of it, right? Like, we see it all. We're here with all the information in the world, but for him, the internal timing, he's held it for so long. He's like, okay, well, they haven't come back yet. Tries to reposition, looking for the pick onto the one player he did know the position of. Loses that duel. And then they just barrel out, take the bomb site because of it. Couple of Famises in play. Both of them are top banana. 4-player stack on this. Only one man is Nork on the A site. Nades out first. Oof. Making it feel like it's only a single player here, just the usual duo. But BlameF, he's baited them in. They still haven't actually got the full regen. Well, they don't know the severity of the situation at top banana, and they're going to feed them some more. The Lions are coming out for Fnatic, clawing them to pieces. Eclot, not like this. They walk into Banana Vince and they get battered.
Bloodied and bruised on Banana. And now Detour with the arduous task of trying to make something out of nothing. And to make matters worse for him, no control over the bomb. Oh, the instant headshot from Nork. Insult to injury, salt directly to the wounds. What a turnaround by Fnatic, though. You lose the pistol, you come into the second round with 5.7s, and now you have 4 assault rifles from Eclot delivered straight to your doorstep.
One-day delivery. Man, just reel them in. Make it look like it's just the usual setup on Banana. They go up, BlameF's the only one that's seen. They keep fighting them. Torn to shreds. Broken, battered, economy, thrown in the bin as well. You take the pistol, but the instant reset always leaves such a horrid taste in the mouth, and they opt to go fast out through brackets. The Galil getting gory. As Nork slays his way through them. Pad the stats, close it down, don't let it get uncomfortable. FaZe is the only one left, can't quite get his hands on the weapon. They know about him now.
Only 3 bullets left though in the magazine as well. There's 2 of them. He's able to replenish. He isn't punished in kind with his death, but I mean, similar situation to Detour. You are effectively just living on borrowed time. Your prospects for doing anything in this round are slim at best. Turns out to be none, and Fnatic, they take the lead at 8-7, forcing Eclot into a save. A chance to get a bit of daylight between the 2 teams. Again, we go back to that T-side on Ancient, and really the T-side on a lot of maps in the lead up to this point. They had a rough T-side on Ancient against Sinners as well earlier on. They lost 13-8. Has been their Achilles heel for the most part. Just 2 P250s and absolutely nothing else. No flashes to facilitate a pop flash into a peak. It looks like they're going to get all together in apps and try and overwhelm and swarm one player and see if they can make the most of it in the post plant. But Fnatic's positioning isn't really going to afford them this luxury unless maybe Natus goes into apps late, but with no smoke in middle, no reason for him to do that.
They're keeping his attention on mid side. Detour focused round on close quad. Smoke back up. Eclot. They're looking to be afforded an opener. Given a peek where they can get a tap off, then start to overwhelm. Just hoping to squeeze some money out of the 16th round. Fnatic, they want to take this one home, put themselves on 9, start to course correct instantly on the CT side, bloat the scoreline. And at every turn, there's some barricade, an incendiary, a player, something to make it rough for them. On the burst out, they've got to hope that they can draw the attention off. But Nork's got support of Mattis. The laboured spray doesn't matter. kreaz with one onto Nork, but Krims is in the back waiting, and Mattis does all the damage at mid. They get through it with only one death onto Nork, and a 9th round hammered home.
As expected, Fnatic bypassed the eco round pretty comfortably in the end, and now Eclot, they'll have one Galil, pardon me, 4 AKs, no AWP though. But again, I go back to that point that we talked about on Ancient, where it's like FaZe, for me, doesn't have too much impact on the T side AWPing. You actually see ZywOo do this a lot as well on Inferno T side, just runs with a rifle, gives you a lot more capabilities, allows you to be more versatile and adaptive. It's also just that half, if we're being completely honest. It's tough to get impact on the T side of it, Inferno at the best at times. The way the map's laid out, the choke points and the smokes. So I'm not entirely against this as a prospect, and FaZe's had a rough start as well at 6 kills. Nuke for me is probably the saddest point of this whole proposition. Is in both maps we've not really seen that same level that we witnessed yesterday against Sangal. It's been sorely missed. And now Nork in position with Krims to play the bait and switch. Nork can take the shot and fall back. Krims maybe just needs no help. He's there to deliver himself. Both players pull the plug, try and get out of there and successfully do so.
They stay alive. They know their win condition. Krims with a schmovement gets himself back towards the site. Ooh, run out for blitz. Beats the timing on the smoke. He's calling for everyone to wrap over. The cavalry has to get towards the B bomb site. Good call in from the Molotov as well. That will deny Body from being able to make his adjustment round out through ruins. So it slows it down enough that they can get the bomb planted and set themselves up. But you can see Nuke holding on the cross. Knew it was about to fade. So they call in for the resmoke towards CT. Now feels comfortable. They're going to get that bomb down. With Fnatic on the retake. Utility's there for them. You outnumber them as well. They're looking for a pick. They want to see if they could get a shot off through the smoke. That would have led them into going for this one. But instead, with how low they are, finding no impact through the smoke, they call it quits. They are able to give this one up. It's going to go 9-8. Eclot barely finding a way to make this round work.
Yeah, they got tons of cash, as you can see across the board, but the fact that you have 2 AKs in play for the CTs, like, you don't want to throw these guns away. There's such a huge advantage in these early trades, especially with Fnatic play. When you get those peaks in, you see this from Mattis a lot of the time. Now looking for the exit frags. There's one, trying to bait them out into the open, let the bomb do most of the work. A very high radius on this map. And now Mattis goes in, anticipating that spot. Decent damage done. In all case there, Fnatic will be happy with that outcome. Sure, not the round loss, but the fact they're able to take 2 extra weapons away forces Eclot into a buy with a MAC-10, a Galil on 2 players. So not a bad effort at all. And now they're going to use their 3rd tactical timeout. They have the round lead. Momentum of this half is kind of in the tip of the balance, really, in terms of, yes, you probably favor Fnatic, but Eclot with this run and gun style, getting aggressive, are having success.
It's just the sheer amount of rounds as well, where it's felt like Eclot are in like the driving seat to take a nice round home, give themselves an even better scoreline, and something happens. Something Fnatic goes crazy, like Blame Air for top banana with the Famises. Previous rounds, right back in the first half, we're talking about Krims with the rotate. Shenanigans and moments that matter so much in a game that effectively decides if Fnatic will be able to take it in 2, go to the major for the organization, for some of these players. I mean, so damn much. Changes up some of the historic stats as well. We're back into the 18th here, though. Nork with the AWP. Oh, doesn't realize how close Nubeek's got. Walks the whole way up, over flick on the contact, Detour running on in, but Krims puts the foot down, and that's the bomb in the hands of kreaz. Had to get the kill, finds it. You've got the rotate cordoned off as well, and they probably don't even want to look in on this one. Should be an Eclot 9-9.
Could be another save, honestly. Same situation as last round, 2 AKs. Don't want to throw them away, you're in a player disadvantage. And although the economy is still okay, it's not great. And Fnatic will be looking at the bigger picture. So a save comes through, and Eclot pick up a 9th round on this half, making a real go of this, man. Like, I didn't completely write them off on this T side, but I had a lot of concerns. Discussing this before, like losing a bit of faith in their T side prowess. But they're regaining that confidence, regaining that speed again. 2 rounds on the bounce. And Fnatic have no more timeouts left either. Importantly, they don't have a chance to push the reset button to get the coach involved. They've utilized all of those. So, Fnatic, what do you do with these consistent saves? 2 in a row. Can you put it to work? We've seen them get that early sort of aggression through from Crimson Apps, a point that I was raising before. We know he likes to play this spot often. He got a kill, but it just wasn't enough. Where do they go from here?
Eyes are honed in on FaZe as well. We've been talking about his trials and tribulations. T-side up on this one. Looks for the opening pick towards banana side. Blocked off Nork. Oh, he doesn't even see them. The scope delivers again. Blows Blitz completely apart. They're wrapping around the site, blocking off the angles for the retake, but Mattis, is he going to play with some shenanigans? Walks through, tries to turn, even wins the engagement. Nubeek! How does that one get by him? 3 versus 4.
This is a far cry from the Nubeek that we saw yesterday, man. Like, the drop-off is significant. That's 2 or 3 chances now he's had. kreaz, in the meanwhile, from the side's going to strike, but Krims there to deliver the fatal blow. A hell of a shot from FaZe. And Krims was lightning fast on his opening headshot. That's outrageous. But he's done the damage, and now FaZe decides to try and take the initiative and push through the smoke. Picks up the bomb, but body through the smoke nails him. And now Detour has to try and force that plant down. They're so accurate through the smoke, he gets peppered to 34. They would have heard the tags, and Detour has to back off. And this is playing into BlameF's position. He's going to have him dead to rights, and Fnatic take 10 first.
Mate, what a bizarre round again. Mattis walks in, tucks into the corner, both of them blind, wins the duel. FaZe forced to recover the bomb, goes up, grabs it, taps it, through the smoke, straight back, damage done. And Fnatic, although they've got none of their pauses left, no opportunity for Keita to get involved in regulation. This is the first pause we've seen from Eclot. You're on the back foot. 1 round down, 10-9. Scoreline dangerously close to Fnatic, getting towards that major qualification point. If there's something to be said for replay here, this is where he needs to chime in massively. What has he seen? What can they change?
Here's their first timeout too, so better late than never. They know the importance and the impact of this round. It could effectively be Fnatic with 1 foot in the major if they concede. Their economy rough. Their buy not fantastic, but good enough to do damage. I mean, realistically, that round ended up being scrappy unless FaZe gets that outrageous insta-headshot onto Krims round the corner with the AWP. It probably would have been a pretty straightforward round, all things considered. Good damage early on from the grenades, and Blitz takes one straight to the face. Down to 20. After the timeout's been called and you're lacking utility and firepower, this is as bad as it gets, and he backs away into the Molotov.
Oh, they knew what needed to be done. The tag onto him. Incendiary goes down. He's trying to bail out, so low on health that the ticks were enough to kill him. Had no opportunity to save himself on that one. So it's another first pick for Fnatic. And Nork, prime time angle for him to show us what he's made of again. It's been that duo of him and Mattis every time there's a push on brackets. They're racking up the body count, leaving everyone slayed out. They're going to go for it again. They've got the flash. That'll be important. Dash it over the top. Smoking the back line. Oh, shoots between them both. He's nutmegged them. kreaz. The AK strikes. Crim's burning alive. Waiting for the impact. Crosshair flicks off as he dives in. Mattis with the backstab. Good for one. It's another pressure cooker round, but FaZe with the AK. This is what we wanted to see. Some rifling. Strikes back. Bomb planted. Fnatic forced to save.
Forced to save and 10 to 10. Again, nothing between the two teams. After how devastating a start it was for Blitz, getting double naded, a Molotov down below his feet, barbecued on Banana. The fact that they were able to come out and take that round, but not to single out a player and throw all of this on his shoulders. Norks had a good game, a lot of ADR, a lot of kills. That miss between two players, not hitting either of them, not trading one for one, left Krims in a world of hurt. Molotov into his position, has to jump out, killed from above. That one miss effectively lost the round. And those are the kind of positions and plays that you cannot afford to make that mistake again if you Nork. The money also pretty dire. I mean, this is where I think they'd like to call a timeout, but they've used all three of them.
And bro, you talk about the money as well. FaZe there survives on 1 HP. They know their numbers of the bomb radius. Tucks in. 1 health to his name, so that's an extra AK you could pass back over. They get a hefty buy coming back into this one. It felt like scraps they were working with in the previous round. It's always scary though. I mean, FaZe, T-side AWP, like, look what you're going up against here at least, right? It's far weaker. There's the 2 rifles, everyone else is on the pistols. If they go for a swing, he should be ready to deliver, but they double up, play the numbers game inside of apps. Body. Good for the first, but Nuke will trade. But they don't know about Blame. No one knows about his angle.
Well, the problem though for Fnatic is they don't know about Blame, but he is really realistically the only hope they have. Because USPs and a P250 alongside it is never going to be able to supply the Mountain himself. Gets caught in bedroom and nullified. That is the round going in favor of Eclot in the dying embers of this match. Eclot are on the brink of taking us to a third. And who would have ever thought that would be the case after they got straight up annihilated on Ancient? It was the most one-sided game maybe of the entire RMRs. And yet here they stand on the precipice of taking us to a third.
And in classic Eclot fashion over the course of this RMR as well, it's one of those where like you're replaying how many of the rounds were, you know, shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? Each and every time where it's like, oh, this could be even better. This could be your regulation win. This could be it dead and buried already. We saw it before. Opening matchup versus Falcons. 2 teams that haven't had it easy at this RMR. They both lost their opening game. It was Eclot against Falcons. It was Fnatic versus Na'Vi. Stark contrast between the 2 teams there. And back to leading. Benefit is, of course, all those weapons cold on the ground. You can walk back over. That's an AK-2 M4s, the kits, the smoke, all dragged into the next.
This would be a really nice outcome for Fnatic. I mean, they came into the round with really not that much. Coming out of it with 3 assault rifles, including an AK, is much better than they would have been anticipating. And ideally, Eclot would have liked to have thrown some of these weapons away, but there was so much chaos over on apps. They didn't want to be in this awkward spot where one player is juggling weapons, gets put down, and then suddenly you're in a 3-on-3. So making sure they have their priorities straight, and that's round win first and everything else second. Eclot, though, 2 rounds away, and Fnatic with the save guns are going to be able to come back into this one with a very powerful buy. Nork on the AWP again. We look back at that miss, it looks really bad, but he has had a good map overall. One of the players you look towards to be that third sort of component, the cog in the wheel behind Blame F and Mattis, but actually Krims has had a great map too.
It's a good read at least. They're a bit more paranoid about the early opening nade set that's been thrown out towards B, but look at the stack you're working with. 3 players early, you throw the nades over, and then instantly posture 2 of the players off. with Body holding with the smoke in his hands for delay tactics. So A site is going to be stacked to the nines. Everyone's here looking for the close encounter. Blame F tucks into the cubby. Smoke's getting ready to fade. He's got backup. Mattis inside a boiler. Detour, he can read that comment across to Mattis. He can take the peek back in. Should be a freebie for him. That's the first. Now they're second guessing themselves a little bit. Staggered. But Nuke battles back, good with one. There's the peek from Mattis down towards midside. It's not a kill, but look at the amount of damage.
Yeah, kreaz down to 8 HP, and he is the bomb carrier too, so he needs to be so careful. He's walking on thin ice. But he's decided he's going to take his skates over onto middle. Joining alongside Blitz. Nuke's up close as well. The timing will favor him against Mattis, and that opens the door onto the A site. And Fnatic, they're in no position to stop this push. They're effectively gonna have to concede 2 map points to save these weapons again. Not even fighting for this, and it's all well and good to keep these weapons in play, but eventually you've got to start using them.
They've got to play for the OT. That's what they're going for. You can weigh it up, figure it out, but look at the scoreline you're facing. They're going to grind this one straight back now. It would need to be 2 rounds on the spin for the CT side of Fnatic. If Eclot take this, Nuke, our bookend, our decider. The game that effectively could be Fnatic's tickets to the Major or Eclot's chance versus Team BB to complete their Cinderella story. All on the line. Match points secured, anything but clean on so many of these rounds though. It's always been scary. At the very least, with a weapon save, you can get a hefty buyback into this one. The AWP for Nork, everyone else with the M4s, tons of nades, those kits importantly as well for the late rounds, because that's what we've been seeing. These late executes from Eclot. I thought it was gone. When Mattis got the pickup inside of apartments, if Nuke doesn't go ballistic there... Oh, mate.
I think that's the most calm tilt I've ever seen. Yeah, whatever. I think it's because he died to the bomb, and obviously the round was already won, so it's a subdued bit of rage. Perhaps double nades down, though. Yielding the first frag and a good counteractive flashbang with an incendiary. It's going to make this too hot to handle. Eclot have to back away and cool themselves down. I am surprised at the lack of aggression from Crimson Apps. He typically loves to be up close and personal. Maybe a case of the hemorrhaging players across the map. He doesn't want to get himself caught off guard and put his team into a horrible spot. But for this time, they get the opening pick, they back off, and now all the pressure is swelling on Eclot. It's up to them to make something happen.
And for Eclot, converting games in overtime, it's not been going well for them at the RMR. Detour, he's afforded so much information. He's able to get into a really advanced position. The other players are lurking back towards B. Smoke goes up, pushes ahead of it, spams there. Krim stays alive with 19 HP. And 50 seconds on the timer. The A-site CT's not budging, not pushing down. So Nuke can't make a power play through mid-side on the lurk. They've got 2 smokes, sure, you can throw them back over. That's the first that goes out. But look at the setup in Body is a position to assist with a backup of Blame. With only 30 seconds, they've got to go for it. Can't stall for too long on this one. Blitz looking for the peek, the head seen, Body takes the scalp. Time ticking away and the rotation's arriving. It's all blowing up in the face of Eclot. Nuke, he's got to get that entry. The AWP staggered, fights towards second oranges. 13 seconds on the clock, FaZe with 1, but it means nothing as Fnatic take 11.
One step closer to OT. I was very confused and perplexed by Detour's decision to wide swing balcony. Like, I understand he wanted to do it before the smoke plumed, but you've got to assume it would be a 1-for-1 trade, and at that point, there were a player behind. So I was a bit baffled by that choice. Maybe trying to draw away rotations from the B site was the play. We have a P90. Don't think I've seen that so far in the RMRs. kreaz locking that one in. A whole new meaning to the term run and gun. 50 bullets in the magazine to try and spray through, and it's been put down instantly from Mattis. A lot of damage onto Nuke and FaZe as well, and you can add Blitz to the mix, but he's been diced down into little bite-sized pieces. And the weakened play is now being finalized. Oh, the one tap from FaZe though. giving them a lifeline. And in actual fact, this could be the third map beckoning. Body in a 1-on-2 with 2 weakened players to contend with.
It looked like it was going so wrong, so quick. But for Eclot now, you're in the post plant playing off one another. Crosshair focused on the smoke and the quad side run out its body. Full nade set. A1S to work with. Throws the smoke, sets up for the incendiary, flash over the top, and go for the engagement. It's good. Right on target. FaZe sent off to the Burns ward. Detour tucked into the corner. He's got to hit the shot. That's the only way he can win it. Swings out. 13th round his. Detour does it. And they will take us to the third map of Nuke.
Nice.
Yeah, now do you see, guys? Do you see the Fnatic that I know? That's the Fnatic I know there.
I'm just hand in.
Right then, here we are, third and final map between Eclot and Fnatic. For Fnatic, it's a pathway to the Shanghai Major. Close this one down, 2-1, you get your tickets. Whereas for Eclot, it's a fight for survival. Their day is only just beginning, Vince. There would still be the decider matchup with Team BB later on today.
Oh yes, Nuke, all-important deciding matchup. Inferno sure was a map that happened, and we'll be hoping this is a little bit more clinical. And BlameF is doing just that. Pierce is in for the first kill. Post-plant, though, has already come to fruition, so Eclot able to back away with 2 players in lobby. Maybe anticipating a push through on the ramp side. Not going to be forthcoming just yet. 2 players up in heaven. They actually don't have a kit between the 5 players either. That could be a problem, especially as the timer was already pretty low. And they're looking to boost up. Detour nails the first headshot and the second on top of it. And that is a huge passage of play in favor of the T's now. And although BlameF is cleaning up left and right, the lack of the kit is a problem. And as long as he gets the kill, this round will follow. Doesn't matter if Blame nails his 3rd kill or not. Eclot take first blood.
Beautiful pistol, 2 big pieces of that one as well, right? The boost up, back towards the vent. You love to see that from Detour. He's been really crisp in a few of the pistol rounds we've seen throughout the event. Again here, delivering with 2 impact frags. And the backstab, that's the most important piece, right? Gets up through heaven side, peeks out, gets him off the bomb. Like you touched on there, no time, no kit, and it's gone. But that was lovely. Great work with the Glock, gets both of those kills, kept him guessing, even with BlameF, try as he might to defend them. You get the last one, but it doesn't matter.
I can't fault his aim, it was crisp. That last shot, especially the fadeaway headshot, was beautiful. So much time already taken off the clock by the time he's able to get into that spot. They're anticipating a hefty buy here. Look at this, no MAC-10s in play for Eclot, full assault rifles. Hard investment into Galils with 4 of them. This is bypassing just a little bit of utility. Nothing for Nubik left. And Body had a chance, but misses out on the shot. BlameF will punish, though. As they back away down in secret. 2 players were up close and personal, but now BlameF, who's gone untouched, still 100% HP, is able to sit in an off angle outside and watch for the garage push.
And it's a weird deciding map as well, with Nuke being the bookend of this series. Fnatic, you tend to ban it as their first ban 80% of the time over the course of the last 3 months. But they've been playing it 3 times in the last 3 months too. And they even had a win over BetBoom at this very event, 13-11. And for Eclot, negative win rate on the map feels like a bit of a bait to kind of lure them in here, and it is our first final decider. And already this one's looking a bit more sheepish, isn't it? I mean, you felt like coming into this, you should have a big edge. We've seen this happen before, where Eclot take the pistol, Fnatic instantly reset. Oh, it feels like I'm in deja vu territory. Mattis is low, 12 HP, looking for the headshot on the vent. Dive out. Kreaz hits him with a die hard. Now he knows what TV dinner feels like, but can they still feast on the round? Nork with the scout. Scoped in, it's gone, Vince. I mean, 7 seconds on the clock. FaZe's going to get nothing from it. Could potentially even die after time, but Nork, Crims rather, won't do that to him. They will take the reset, 1-1 instantly.
Yeah, Blame may have had a bit of an off map over on Inferno, but he is starting lightning fast here on the 5-0 lead in terms of his kills to death. Big entry as well outside onto the crossing players from Red. Alleviated the pressure on the two secret players, allowed them to back off and reposition onto the B site and wait and react. But yeah, I mean, you're spot on. Eclot have fell into this trap so many times of winning the pistol and then immediately being broken. And you just can't afford that. On the T side of Nuke, especially against a team like Fnatic, you have to make the most of everything. It's just miss smoke as well on top of the vents. If they're trying to fake for a rotation through outside, they're not buying it right now, Fnatic. They know exactly what's coming up, and they're going to be able to devour the oncoming Ts. 3 players in quick succession go down. There is a bit of a resurgence, though, with the Tech 9s, but it's too little too late. Fnatic dialing a 2-1 lead.
And there's been a lot of misutility over the course of the RMRs for Eclot as well. It's come back to haunt them a couple of times. Oh, mate. It's so rough. Whenever you start to think like, oh yeah, hang on, here we go. They've started the bonfire. They're getting their energy going, Vince. They're living it large. It always goes wrong. It always instantly just gets collapsed on by Fnatic. It's been such a bizarre matchup over the course of the previous 2 maps. Coming out early. Nade damage good again on target. Utility damage has been through the roof for Fnatic. They're keeping that trend going. Soften them up. Of course, you really don't have any firepower here. It is just a Glock, so you're hoping for a best-case scenario. Plant the 4Z, squirrel away some cash into the next. Maybe take a weapon as well. I mean, Blame F, 6-0 off the starting block over the course of 3 rounds. Low on health instantly, but his teammates can clean up for him. That one's dead and buried.
Yeah, anticipated to be pretty straightforward. Full-on eco affords them now the AK buy. I want to see how they're going to contend with Blame playing outside the way he is right now. Have a lot of impact with the M4 in the opening 4 rounds. How are Eclot going to be able to withstand that? I mean, getting a wall of smokes down is all well and good, but the way Blame is playing, they're going to have protocols with Body blowing open the smoke wall with a HG, allowing Blame to really thrive. We also know he likes to play aggressive outside behind the red container. They flashed in, and that's exactly what he's doing right now, but he's going to find pretty much no one here. It's all about ramp. They're keeping kreaz outside, but the bulk of the Ts right now are pushing down onto ramp side. And Nuke, passing with flying colors on the first shot, doesn't need to nail the second, just needs to stay alive. This is allowing Blame to clear out the angles, but they've actually passed by one another. kreaz has snuck his way into secret round red container, but he has no idea as to Blame's current position.
Oh, it goes both ways, doesn't it? He wants to set himself up for a big backstab, but that's what Blame is being given for absolutely free. So as much as the space outside is gone, you're not going to instigate the push, being a little bit more skeptical about what angle Blame is in. Whereas he slowly starts to skulk his way around. He does slow down though, and this has given him a window of opportunity down the ramp. It's Body that's posted up in control room. Break the glass in case of emergency. Nade in over the top with the smoke blocking off his vision. Oh, instant dink. He's left low on 11. And 4Z has been able to get the connection off onto Natus as well. Quick rotate through the vents. This is kreaz's big play. It's what he was biding his time for. You get the backstab off. Focus on Crims now. Can the A4 sing? No. On the peek out, Blitz delivers.
Save for Fnatic. Up in the hands of Nuke as he backs off to the site, and Blame remains the immortal for the time being, even though they have lost the 2 rounds thus far. It did feel like Blame had the advantage in terms of, you know, in that whole debacle outside. Oh, hold on a second. I'm saying like he's going to survive this. I think the immortal is about to be put to the sword. I think kreaz saw the barrel of the gun, and Blame F will go down. No saved M4 alongside the AWP. But yeah, when he was going outside, he had more intel because Nuke had already killed 1 player. He'd already given up ramp control, so Blame had a better read of the situation. Was maybe a little bit too slow in the approach, though. Additionally, the player that was in control room missed out on that opening spray, got dinked and forced him to fall back. And that opened up so much avenue of success for Eclot that they exploited. So give them credit. I mean, Fnatic, they're struggling still. I don't think we're seeing them play even close to their A game. But Eclot are making the most of the opportunities that they've been afforded so far.
3-2. Weapons are there for either side. Full arsenal to play with. Early nades cast out. Getting close round towards trophy room. Smoke's there, but Blitz looking to line it up. Underhand throw, break the smoke, look for the run on out. Nemiga does get one. That's a trade back onto kreaz, who's been able to slay through the smoke on the Blitz. Nuke isn't here, supporting outside, so no one else to put down the hammer on the ramp control, apart from Body, who gets a read. A little bit of info there on the jiggle, doesn't need to overcommit.
Exactly. He's got a bit of info. He knows that B site's going to be pushed into. Now, he may not know how many players are down here, but he's going to find out firsthand as Nuke yet to get off the mark until this round has now picked up 2. And with Body's life being deemed forfeit, this site is all Eclots all day. They're going to just make sure they don't get peeked from all of these little cheeky angles and don't get embarrassed in this round. And with 50 seconds left, more than enough time to now get that bomb planted down. Faking out for the decon potential push, but Fnatic are already off to a save. I'm getting deja vu from Inferno, Jackie. You know, that's the saves that Fnatic were going for, just completely outpositioned time after time. They'll be hoping it doesn't go the same way.
That'll be your run over. No shot at the major. And for Eclot, man, it's that same story. Like, it feels like every time you're like, oh yeah, it's not going to happen here. They're not going to be able to do it again. Somehow they do just live on borrowed time, fight through. It's by no means the prettiest counter-strike for either one of these two teams. But you've got to beat whoever's in front of you. 4 rifles going to be brought into the next. They get just far enough away. Able to clutch onto those. 3 weapons though for Fnatic. AWP still in play for Nuke. Both of the A1Ss surrounding that. And rightly so. Losing the rounds they have, you call in the timeout. Give Jamie his opportunity now to speak to the troops. Looking a lot more commanding this time around.
Understandable, man. Lost a map that you probably should have won fairly straightforward and convincingly. And, like, honestly, as rough as the CS has been at times in this best of 3, you can forgive the players. There's so much on the line here. Like, the pressure is vast. Sure, for Eclot, they know they'll have to play another game, but it keeps them going forward. Fnatic know they're through to the major. This will put kreaz, actually the most capped major player of all time, if he can get it done. I think he's drawing with Olof right now. This would put him in the lead in terms of the Swedes. Yeah. Most capped Swedish player, I should say, to be very clear.
No, exactly. 16, tied 7th. That's Olof and Device that are alongside him. If he makes it up to 17th, he's going to be in the same pedigree as Shox and Zipnix, tied for 5th place. All right, well, here comes the run-out. Body with the spam down. Blind. Damage initially done. Chips his way through 2. FaZe replies back onto 1. But look how low they all are. Staggered into the round. They're on the ropes.
FaZe on 17, I mean, already kind of just forced back. Just been slapped. Wanted to get aggressive. I mean, he still ways forward, especially as Natus tries to leap up on top of her. Gets caught in transition. And instead of trying to sit around on A, they decide to vent dive. Get downstairs. They're leaving one player up there as a bit of a flanking contingent. A bit of a lurker in the shadows, which will be kreaz. Going for that full plant now. And again, Fnatic have the advantage, and they let it slip through their fingers. They can't surely be playing for another save. I mean, they're not even sure which site this is planted on just yet. I think they've just realized it's the B site. They're going to save again. Oh my goodness, Fnatic. They're having a nightmare CT site.
Felt like you'd own them. You come out swinging. Big picks on Body, 2 frags, all the damage as well, and still somehow Eclot find themselves around from it. Playing peppering on the kreaz. Man's going to be a bit lower here with the bomb blast going off. Has to push up a little bit. Unfortunately for him, he can't do that. It's death either way. So not afforded that AK, but look at the cash flow.
Yeah. FaZe 10k, Detort 8.2k. Like, they're fine with that trade. They'll take that happily. Second tactical timeout already called.
It feels like that happened on Inferno as well, right? Like when you were out of tactical timeouts so quickly, and then come the tail end of it, obviously no opportunity for Keita to instill his knowledge, see what he's spotting from a bird's eye perspective.
I think it was like the 17th round and they'd used all 3.
Yeah.
And they really could have used one towards the end. I mean, I understand why they're so quick to use them, and obviously Keita needs to instill a couple of ideas within the troops, because constant saves, constantly being outmaneuvered and outpositioned. And like, if we're being honest, that was a 4v3 with a very low 4Z. They had no right to even get close to back into that round. They catch Mattis as he tries to jump on top of the hut, and then vent dive. It was that simple, that straightforward for them to get success. So completely understandable that Keita's like, guys, come on now, like, we got to get this sorted. Otherwise, this CT side could get out of control. Their economy's on the tightrope constantly because of these losses consistently.
Yeah, you're walking a very fine line already. And kreaz, he's walking outside. Getting a bit of vitamin D out in the sunlight, and then looking to punish on the walk up, and somehow he gets through the smoke with Blaine tucked into the corner, barrel in the back of the head. Oh, now it's all about the A play, but Blame F, he's able to still find frags. 3 kills to his name in this round. Everyone that's died for Eclot goes down to the hands of Blame. Nade up, body waiting in the vent for the opportunity to strike, coiled like a viper, just waiting for the go pistol to be sounded. CT side vent set up at the back. FaZe and Detour, good frags. Nuke, combat orb style CS now. Only one onto the scalper, FaZe, but Detour trades it, and Eclot barely limping through the round. But it's far better for them, Vince. It does the damage to Fnatic's CT side economy. It gives you a way straight back into leading this game with a bit more of a buffer, and you're happy to reinvest into it. This was the opener, though. Blame F, all 3 of the kills from his hands towards main.
Another advantage as well to Fnatic. It was a 3v2. They're not playing off each other. You see Blaine F in main. He gets 2 kills from main. Krims is still up in heaven. Player lost on the site, no counteractive kills. Where's the avenging frags? Where's the teamwork? Where's the cohesion right now? What? Beautiful stuff from Mattis, but it's a moment in amongst the smog of CT losses. And the economy in the bin one more time, pushing them into an MP9, and FaZe watching for the flank. Out to the open comes Nuke, Molotov underneath his feet. Heaven turns to hell, and Eclot turned to a 6th round. The amount of advantages and chances that Fnatic have had on the CT side is kind of crazy considering the scoreline. You've had 2 tactical timeouts already, and it's not changed anything.
And again, like, as much as it was us kind of saying, oh, this is bizarre, there's like 4 rounds, Fnatic won an Inferno, they never should have won, that was like awkward timings, 5 versus 3s, 5 versus 2s. Here, you're kind of having that effect done to you, right? Like, Blame F inside of main, finds a load of impact. Coming into this one, you really need to get yourself a win. They've got the money, reinvested into it. Nuke back towards ramp. He's been switching it up a little bit, playing with support outside as well. kreaz, he had a great game on Inferno individually. Can he find space to make a play here? Last time he was shot in the back of the head by Blame F. He's suspicious about main because of it. No early contact though, no one dropping yet. If he extends round far past Garage, that's going to be Blame F in position to get the kill onto him. FaZe wins out in the battle of the scopes towards ramp. Nuke does not deliver on that one. It forces the CTs to get more proactive. Mattis has to begin the backstab, and Blame bides his time for this kill onto kreaz, but look at the disparity. A 4 versus 3, minute on the clock, tons of map control for Eclot.
And this forces Fnatic into a bit of proactivity. Like, they realize they've got to try and get a stranglehold over this CT side again, and they're moving out, probably not anticipating the Detour's up close to it. They may check it, but Blame's lost his head, and Krims is going to go the same way. Detour pulling up the roadblock to any success for Fnatic. And Body, the brains behind the operation, has been unable to find the winning formula. Time after time, Eclot are multiple steps ahead, and this will be a 7-3. And considering it was a full-on investment once again for Fnatic, their money is going to be terrible into the next one, and Eclot are off to a phenomenal T side. A deciding match matchup. Elimination on the line for Fnatic. The smiles and elation from the Ancient performance have quickly turned into a grimace.
Yeah, any of that energy they had, like you remember Blame F going absolutely ballistic, right? Like screaming, knowing how close they were each and every round. You're farming, you had the anti-strat, it was all working well. It was a rough game on Inferno. Eclot barely got it over the finish line with some crazy, miraculous rounds. But here, very different state of affairs. You're running away with it. Your T side, it's just living you. So many rounds. I mean, 7 on the board already. And like you said, this is Fnatic with 1 timeout in the back pocket. Again, the cash in a bit of a bad spot. Body's the only one that clutches onto the A1S and all the nades, so they've got to try and reinvest some of the money around it. You can't buy too low. Player's already beneath 2K as well. Oh, dude, Eclot. If they come alive at just the right time here, they'd still have another best of 3 ahead of them to make it to the major, but they would be 1 step closer for Fnatic. It would be gone. It would be dead and buried. No more chances. Body strikes first. The hero rifle's good for the opener. Blame F breaks open the smoke. They're running on out. Nuke. He's becoming alive more and more. We're seeing some classic plays here, but it all falls to pieces. There's Krims with a 5-7 elevated angle, catches the AWPer off guard. They grab the AK and the AWP, and a 4th round.
Man, Blame comes under so much unfair scrutiny for the whole like meme of bait F and all this kind of stuff. But in this game, he is actually being the most proactive player, often just nailing 2 or 3 by himself and off angles, playing solo, with very little in terms of supporting players. And that round, we actually saw a bit more teamwork. Finally, Fnatic showing some signs of life, but you're at the tail end of your half. 11 kills to Blame F, over 100 ADR. The only person outperforming him is FaZe in that regard. And still his team are being straight up destroyed. Speaking of which, beautiful headshot onto Blitz, and Body follows up.
Natus is so proactive. He wanted to go for these main pushes a couple of times, out through Hut, wrap around the back, and this time it's working well for him. He should be able to complete this backstab. He's seen one. He's paranoid about T-Roof. Bides his time before he strikes. He's coming across. Slow it down. Wait for me to make the play. They get 1 pick, but he's lining them up. Up close. The AWP's overwhelmed. Detour. Snapshot. Switches out. Grabs the AK with a full clip. Looks to try and slay. But Blame F has got your number. He opened it up with a hurty-verty flicking up towards Silo, and he won't need to deal more damage on this one. 7-5. It closes a whole lot better than it looked like it was going to go. Energy back there as well. Keita very excited off the back of that one.
What concerns me though, Jackie, is to play devil's advocate. So the last couple of rounds where, again, Blame has really popped off. It's one thing to be proactive and find timings, especially outside through smokes and these kinds of things on the CT side. Can he get it done on the T side though? Because if Blame has a bit of a stagnant T half, Nork's not really been delivering. We've seen him get actually straight up wrecked by FaZe multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
There are concerns. You have Body, who is the 2nd top fragger, the 2nd top performer on Nuke. He was the standout player on Ancient. Need to see more from Natus. But at least they've got themselves within 2. It could have been so much worse. That could have easily been like a 9-3 half in favor of the T's, in favor of Eclot.
Round 13, 7-5, second half pistol. Trading blows over the course of this series in the pistol rounds. We've seen anti-strats from Fnatic. We've seen crazy rounds from Natus. Nuke hitting some good shots. They love themselves a set of Julies, and there's going to be 2 in play here for the CT side of Eclot. Early shots out, break the glass on the skylights. Grouping up outside as well. kreaz. If he's tested, will he be able to find these? Doesn't know about the timing on Blame F. Already passed round towards Red. Doesn't see the shadow. Has no idea. Shot in the back of the head by the P250, so the range comes into play. And already a man down here into the 13th.
Both Julie still intact, however, and moving together as a firing squad through on ramp. But they've already given up so much of the map, like Heaven's under control. Players now moving through into main side. They're going to be sweeping in from 2 separate angles. And although Detour is currently safe in Hut, his teammates falling around him puts a lot more pressure on his shoulders. and he's missed out on the immediate flick. It's unfair to expect that much from him, but they're in such an awkward spot right now. They need someone to go heroic mode, and it may be Blitz for the man, for the job, as he comes in with 2. And now the T's are clumped together in an awkward spot on Squeaky. They've had to bypass playing off the site. It's not planted for them either, and Detour's going for the full defuse. They're going to have to close the gap, and they do just that in time. Crims with 2 and manages to seal the deal with a 3rd, and Fnatic get the 2nd pistol.
Had to commit to the full 10-second defuse. And Crims coming alive when it matters most. Look at those. Oh, beautiful from his perspective. Oh, you can see how antsy it is as well in these round reactions. Keita every time, like off the back of the previous round going into the pistol, he's staring up at the sky looking like, what on earth is going on? Where are we right now? On that one, clutching his hands. That's your 3rd timeout as well. They take the round, it's an important one to pick up. He just wants to think about closing this game, Vids, giving them that spot at the major.
Oh, we've been here before. This is even quicker, sooner than they displaced all 3 timeouts on Inferno. And they could have desperately done with an extra one towards the end. I completely understand and agree with your point. Like, you got to make sure you make the most of taking the pistol and convert it into a vast lead. But if things go pear-shaped, if they start to slip away, that's where Keita will not have the ability to chime in any longer. Now, Eclot have fully given this one up. P250s, and that's it. Fnatic with a Mach 10 for Blame F can get really aggressive, but deciding that they're going to actually sit back and try and absorb all the pressure that comes in. And so far, so good, but Blitz actually with the P250 is going to lay down 1 at least. Doesn't look like they can capitalize on this one, and it's just a Mach 10, so the expendable weapon anyway. But maybe Detour could get a 2nd. Not quite. Nuke there to deliver.
On the mirror's edge, trying to go for the parkour play, but he's punished. A Nuke, a dink, but nothing more. And Fnatic finds success. It was a lobby crunch, hoping to catch him off guard. We'd seen some great things from those P250s before for Eclot, but of course this one, too much of a tall order. But this is the round they were biding their time for, the reinvestment here. Coming out swinging round 15, all tied up, 7-7. 3rd and final map. What have they got for us? Utility to play with as well. They've got the smokes, default mollies, block off a fast play from Fnatic in case they try and hit you. Nice and quick on this one. They want to burst out through hut. Go straight in through the smoke. Detour's ready with the MP9. Oh, they're getting mullered. Trapped inside a hut. He switches out to the AK, playing a bit of gun game. But those 2 picks are huge.
Stop the push, then it tracks. Now, the only good news for Fnatic is the SMGs. They still maintain 3 rifles in play. And all 3 players pretty healthy additionally. So with kreaz and Blitz feeling the effects of the opening engagements, Fnatic may not be dead and buried just yet, but make no mistake, they are in a massive ditch. Have to try and find a way out. And they've elected outside maybe the task at hand. Smoke down into main. And a flash into the garage as well may allow them to bypass Nubeek's positioning right now. Oh, he catches the side of Crim's head, who had no idea, and Nubeek doing significant damage to Nuke. Plus getting the intel of both T's being outside allows Eclot to reposition accordingly. It feels like Fnatic have missed their chance.
Only Nuke and Blame F. Fawzy, he's waiting for the walkout. Blame F with a quick trade, grabs himself the AK. But look at the time. 25 seconds, barreling down towards the bomb site. kreaz, he's going to have his ears perking up on this one. Gets the audio contact, knows he's on the rafters, comms it across. You want to tap the bomb, see if he can bait them in. Time's ticking away. Ooh, Blame F! Good for the fast flick. Any more Blame F? Runs through the doors, but Blitz, he'll deny it. Looked a little bit scary, but with no real time on the round, all they had to do was tuck in. And Eclot, they do survive the test.
And although it's a lot of casualties, 2 AKs saved, they can easily drop across the Nubeek as well. So Eclot back in pole position. Fnatic can come straight back with AKs, but their finances looking pretty grim. Mattis on a P250. I mean, surely you'd want Crim's body or Nuke to drop Mattis your AK rather than have him on a P250 here. He is a big part of the puzzle on the T sides. See if it ends up costing them or not. Eclot, in the meanwhile, tons of utility early on, expecting an 8 push, not forthcoming. Fnatic slow it down and look like they have their eyes on ramp. That's where the bomb is currently transitioning through. They have to deal with Nuke though, and Blitz is pretty close by additionally. Stuck behind the smoke, but that's going to start to dwindle away. And now Fnatic, they're looking to try and get the entries in play, and playing F removes the head of Nuke and opens up the door down to B.
No holes barred from Benjamin as he breaks down the first, but FaZe, a furious flick back with a scope. FaZe, you absolute lunatic! Tagged up inside of the vent, 24 HP to his name, dials it right back. Just under a minute on the clock, and Nuke with a late lurk. Up on top site, might reel them into thinking that they're going to double back on this one. They'll call it quits, go up ramp, hit towards A. And Detour's paranoid about this. Meanwhile, Nuke, he's just focusing on linking up with the rest of the squad. You've still got 40 seconds. 2 flashbangs in the pockets. And FaZe's heroics, that incredible flick, it could be a moot point if they can't convert in the late round.
It's bought them a bit of time and a bit of space, but they still find themselves a player behind, and FaZe on low HP. Additionally, no kits and only a flashbang alongside it will make this so difficult to retake. And FaZe daren't go for the peak. He knows how fragile and brittle he is right now. Detour, though, dividing with the flashbang into the peak, gets one, but importantly, Nuke stands his ground. A special sadness descends upon FaZe, knowing he just landed a double of dreams, but still it wasn't enough to get Eclot the round. He has to save.
And he's got to get a move on. Bomb Blast will kill him, 24 HP. He knows he's got to get far away from this one.
Oh, FaZe, you'll die there. Bro. Like, everyone can see that from a mile off.
Yeah, dude, radius is like 650 on Nuke. Bomb damage is like 1750. You've got to go back all the way through outside, close towards CT spawn. 24 health. He's not going to survive it. I think he was hoping maybe they push him, but... Bro, I don't know. Saving the AWP there would have been worth far more.
Oof. 2 sick shots. But the last portion of that round is one to forget if you are Eclot. Coming back in with a Deagle 5-7. It's not been very clean Counter-Strike on Fnatic, but they now have by far and away the better spot here. Third map coming towards its conclusion. The last third on the horizon. We could very well go the distance. The thing is, though, with these pistols, we've seen many a time for Eclot. I'm going back to that game against Falcons. They got a ton of success with very little.
Yeah.
So don't take your eyes off this round. If you're Fnatic, you'll get punished real quick. And there was a lot of players downstairs, 2 of them together. Good Molotov. Very good Molotov. Natus would have heard the sound cues of 2 players getting burned as they're forced back to the site.
Nemiga, he gets the read. His teammate punished because of it. Deagle dealing damage. Oh, Nemiga. 3 clean kills. Fnatic falling to pieces on the rush towards ramp. You said be careful of these pistols, Vince. They did not heed your warning. And now it's down to the 2v3. They don't have firepower. They don't have a kit. 35 seconds on the clock. Crims will get the bomb down. Eclot, can you somehow pull this one over the finish line? They can rearm themselves. Weapons on the ground towards ramp for the rotate. Body and Crims with it to lose.
Pushing down, they know they've got to close the gap quickly. Lack of kit will always force them into an awkward spot. Come the late round here. Good spray from Crims. The experienced hands guiding them calmly to success. Just what they needed. Nuke with a beautiful triple, but I mean, if you're Fnatic, single peeking 1 by 1 with no flashbang, typically you'd want to jump the first play to try and draw out fire if you know there's a possibility. Yeah, bait it out. You can't kill all 3 if you're going up and down.
Oh, mate. Bizarre. Having a look back here, 2 rounds ago, this was FaZe, of course. The miraculous flick that it was. The problem with that one, of course. Like, we're saying it in the moment, right? Like, yeah, you've made the play. That is the play. But he just had no chance in the round. He's trapped in decon. He couldn't get an angle for anything there. Oh, even in this one, Vince, like, they're hitting their shots. They're making it look like, yeah, actually, maybe there is a chance. Nubeek, no noob, all peak on that one, like hitting some tasty shots with the deke.
Yeah, 3K. I mean, the sad part is, though, Jackie, is if I'm thinking about the duration of this best of 3, that's his only highlight play of this series.
Kind of is, yeah.
He was the guy that you looked at in the game against Sangal as like the final boss, the beast, the guy peeking around corners, ripping heads off left, right, and center like it was nothing. That's the first time in this series we've seen Nubeek and think, oh, there he is. There's the guy that we know. That is a ridiculous flick.
So wild that you lose that round. Oh, strap in. 9-8. The game is afoot with weapons to work with once again for the CT side. Limited utility on quite a few players though. And only the one kit for a late round retake for Detour. And so many of these have felt like they've been post plants for Fnatic.
Let's in the smoke. They get cleared once it fades. But Krims comes out second best. And Blitz didn't take that much damage either, so he can now reposition. He can't get his hands on the AK, but he's going to try and supply a little bit more in terms of proactivity on this peak. But BlameF punishes. M4 dropped down, traded up from Detour's MP9. A HE is a parting gift, but not much on the retreat. Blame still fine at 57, and this is all a ruse. It's all misdirection, smoke and mirrors, as the rest of Fnatic are pushing downstairs and getting so much forward positioning as a result.
Bomb's got to cross though outside. They're going to go for this either out, or you've got to try and go headstrong in through upper. FaZe would have it covered. This is the attention draw. If they can cause the other rotate, get a pick, then yeah, you've got a far better chance of actually being able to slip down on there. And Nork still just biding his time on upper. BlameF doesn't know just yet. They can go round towards ramp, but look at Nubeek. He was set up so early into the round. Sees the shadow, fires out the warning shots. His teammate blocked off by the Molotov. Body bag plays. And Mattis assisting. Detour with a backstab. Time's tight. Just under 20 seconds on the clock. He's running them right down. They try and turn it. Smoke off, play inside of it. Body. He knows what's up. Grabs that one. As Fnatic climb to 10 on the third map.
Such a huge kill as well, man. A 1v2 of like 15 seconds if Body goes down. I thought for a second that smoke may actually help Detour out.
Yeah.
Rather than hamstring him. But Body on point. Consistently good throughout this series. Eclots. They're in real trouble now. Depleting their economy. Down to 3 MP9s. Eyeing up a potential 11-8 deficit. They've nearly got it done with the Eagles and 5-7s. The MP9's still going to be an issue to deal with. You have to bypass on the incursion here on Fnatic. They're trying to null some of this ramp control early on. Good grenade alongside the Molotov. kreaz spots nothing as he's put into his grave, and a triple stack. Good enough to send Nubeek packing for this round.
FaZe with the 5-7. Dink onto the first, but no room to convert off the back of the tag. And this is the grim reality of the 19th round. You're left with 2 players with MP9s in their hands, doubling up. And they're not coming your way no more. Don't run the risk of running in through ramp side. They know they can cut noise on this one, slow it right down, wrap back towards A. Nork can get that bomb planted, drops it down to his teammate in Mattis, so he stays on the high ground.
Bomb has been planted.
Blitz, looking for the walk up onto Krims. A small drop in an ocean of a round here. Again, potentially just hold on to the AK. So low on health though, drops it back to his teammate. Looking to recover something else. Another one around the corner there towards trophy side. So both weapons armed, time so far gone. They've got to slip out, sprint back all the way towards CT spawn here. They'll be able to survive it now. They've been given the timing, so 2 weapons are carried over, but Fnatic getting dangerously close to winning this one. And with how tight it's been, the scoreline doesn't even feel like it gives you the true tale of the game. This has been Eclot fighting so hard on the CT side, dominating early on, coming into it as well. What a change. You know, first map blown out of the water. 13-4 felt like it was over in minutes. Scrappiest CS we've ever seen on Inferno. Here on Nuke, it's all about the heroes. It's BlameF early. And Eclot losing their grip.
Yeah, it's been that kind of game, Nubik. Understandable. Here we go, Eclot. Probably their last chance to save their own fortunes. Their endeavors for the major hang by a thread. And kreaz already taken down just a little bit. Fnatic haven't had outside control too many times, to be fair. It's mainly been ramp and A pushes. And going back for ramp once more, clearly, they've noticed a chink in the armor they want to try and exploit. A Nuke, who's normally got Kevlar, impenetrable with his rifle, has looked a little bit shaky in this game. FaZe with the molly and smoke to the cross, but no one is home. Fnatic now pondering just outside of ramp, ready to start to push forward once that smoke clears. They do also have Nork outside on red container. One of the first times that we've seen a double secret push on Eclot, looking for a bit of information, and they're about to find it, but not the way they were hoping for. Body getting one, forcing Blitz away back onto the B site.
This is the real play though. The ramp run out, Nuke. Oh, he's keeping him guessing with his angles. Last time it was the Deagle, this time it's the A1S tucked into the cubby, but Nork walks into the clothesline of Detour. Whenever you think it's over, Eclot show they still have more to give, and Blame F is the only man left here into the 20th. 20 seconds on the clock, bail out on it. Up towards T-Roof, looking for the save. A 9th round. Another lifeline. Means that FaZe will have that AWP. You'll have both of these AKs in play as well. And hell, honestly, like Detour and Blitz, two players I don't think you want having AKs in a game like this. They've been the ones hitting some right snappers over the course of the game.
That's very true, but we're starting to see Nuke awaken from his slumber as well. They may have poked the bear one too many times. And now they have to deal with the consequences. I said it was maybe a chink in the armor, a bit of a weakness to exploit. Well, I think Nuke's given them pause for thought on that one now. Yeah. As you said, he's mixing his angles up. He doesn't want to be predictable. That's the last thing you want to be as a ramp player. And even sometimes when he's had a second player there, they've still just bulldozed straight through. So it's understandable why Fnatic have gone back to that play time and time again. This is maybe where they start to adapt a little bit and switch it up. Outside seems to be the place that they want to push into, but kreaz hiding in amongst the smokes. Listening for footsteps, would have called that one player's already dropped down onto the B side of secret. He's gone unchecked so far, but once those smokes clear, he could be in trouble. They haven't all pushed down just yet. They still have some straggling T's outside.
Oh, they're watching it. Mattis is ready. A sneaking suspicion about it. Yep. Mattis with the AK prime shot, Vince. That's huge. Timing on it, though. Walk out through hard. Crims, unchecked, delivers again. The Swede showing up. And FaZe, he's shown us some monstrous moves on the B site. But this time it's one shot and a fadeaway. They're back up towards the A site. Jump on the ladder. Instantly make the rotation. You know where the CTs are now. Nuke was switched onto this. He's starting to make his move. Tucked in, still down. How should the rotate was from FaZe back up towards the ramp side. I mean, reality is like 2 versus 4. You're going to have no real money working into the next. That's going to be match point, series point. Fnatic. The major looked like it was slipping out of reach. Now it seems like it's all but there.
That really seemed to me to be kreaz lacking confidence. Like, if you look at that positioning that he was sat in the entire time, he played aggressively and then reverted to being incredibly reactive in a situation, in a position where the T's are going to expect that. There was 2 smokes down. Pushing on the red con blue position, it's not audacious. It's not a crazy play. It's a pretty common one. If you look at how Blame F was playing that very same role, when they were on the CT side, he pushed all the way around the back of lobby. He was keeping his angles covered. He was going for the wide sweep around the periphery of the smoke and trying to neutralize that from being pushed. kreaz was way too passive. And we said at the time, once those smokes clear, you're in trouble. There's still players outside and you don't know where they are. You've given up your position at that stage.
We saw the knock-on effect. I mean, Mattis as well. Like, it's those sort of situations where he is incredibly reliable.
Yeah.
You need him to hit a disgusting shot. Yeah, he'll do it. Oh. Blessing afforded here for Fnatic as well, obviously with a timeout for Eclot. Keita's not been able to chime in for so damn long. We were worried maybe that is going to be a bit of a problem for them, but timeout. Have a bit of a chat, see what they can do. Is there any room for a comeback? Remember, have this in your mind. An 8-7 scoreline, a round that could have been theirs. FaZe, a disgusting two-piece to put them in the advantage with a flick. An unbelievable shot. A round that was lost. The following one was Nuke with the free K on the Deagle as well. They still couldn't get it over the mark. And now Fnatic, large and in charge, looking for one round to go to the Shanghai Major.
Blowing up in the smoke, but not quite fully clearing it away. FaZe can't stick around for too long. And there is an asterisk that you can put to that play on kreaz. It's fine to sit in there if you have a player on main or secret that's watching for you. So you have a crossfire. You have each other's back, but they just wasn't. And Nuke, oh, he gets the dink. But the AK prevailing in firepower as per usual. Good spray, lots of damage being cleaned up by Blitz. Oh. But there's Body with another one. It's 2-on-2, but Fnatic's health bars so close to 0. Eclot have the advantage, but they're being forced away from mollies. And Fnatic looking to brute force their way for a post plant on B.
Proactive utility. It's really good to buy time. FaZe, we just saw the shot on the replay. Can he do it again here? Living in the moment, close towards ramp. Doesn't know about Body. 37 HP, but you're walking right on by. The angle's not really going to work for you either, so he's not getting a read on where he is. He's got to go so far back, lines up the shot, and BlameF locked into the 1v1. You could finish it here, but BlameF looking to fight for survival. He wants to take Fnatic to the Major and see if they can lock it down. He jumped right on the bomb, spam into the smoke. He sticks it, gets it over the finish line. 2 rounds away from taking us into an overtime. BlameF in the 1v1 could not find it.
Well played, FaZe, very well played. Smoke, and he picked up a kit on the site as well and just stuck it, knowing that Blame was slightly out of position. It would have to be an insta headshot round the corner through the smoke to deny that defuse. We've seen a couple times them come off these defuses a little bit prematurely.
Yeah.
But FaZe is in his comfort zone right now. The standout player on Eclot keeps them in with a fight. The economy is low. If they win this round, Fnatic will be in trouble. But the early trades going in favor of Eclot. A 2-for-1 as they find themselves. Mattis jumping down and kreaz punishes. Stabs him straight in the back. And Fnatic have Body and Nuke to try and play with now. Damage inflicted to kreaz. But Eclot just have to sit in position now. Soak up the damage. You've got the advantage. And surely Body can't clutch a 1v4. First kill goes in his favor. Had the right read of a potential peek from Secret. But he has no control over the bomb. And there's no reason for Eclot to sweat this one out just yet. If he wastes enough time, they may start to worry about him being up in heaven. But they're holding positions.
Penny drops, you get the read. Shot's over, you can just tuck in now. Don't give him the 1-for-1s. And instead, the molly trying to make it uncomfortable for Nuke, but he'll swing on out. They close it again. And Vince, the knock-on effect is this. They went for a heads-up call, looking for the rush out onto the A site, where BlameF wanted to go huge. You wanted to close it then and there. Instead, damage done to the economy. It's going to be a really scrappy round with the weaponry. Eclot, this is the best chance you've had to equalize the game. Take us into an overtime. Their run at the RMRs could still go on. They could still have a chance to make it to the decider matchup. You've got to close them down here and then think about the future. For Fnatic, what do they go for? Have one of these fast plays, splitting up early. Outside control's been working for them. They know they've been able to get a lot of space there, and Crim's playing on the close angle in case they come running in. We've seen Eclot debating these lobby crunches time and time again. Crims was able to catch him sleeping once. Smoke up outside, looking for the crossover. It baits out the nade. The AWP's ready for it. FaZe's been delivering.
He most certainly has, but they have the kind of firepower here, the weaponry with the Tech 9s and this pick and mix buy, that if they can close the gap onto FaZe, it'd be in a world of pain, a world of hurt. He's positioned very well though on the CT side, constantly backing away and taking up different angles, keeping himself difficult to contend with and contain. Crims on 3. barely seeing a player in the process. Maybe the sacrificial lamb out onto ramp to draw away fire, but they've already moved downstairs. No one from Eclot down here. With the wall of smokes being put into play, they'll have a good read of this being a possibility. But on the rotation down on vents, they'll be struggling. Blitz is going to be head-to-head in that trade, but he comes out with the advantage. And Eclot now with a real possibility of taking us to overtime, but they will have to contend with another post-plant.
It was all about the retake. That's what they were setting up for. They've been so proactive inside a secret, round in, round out. They slowed it down, but Fnatic got exactly what they wanted out of it. No one was here to defend, and now the shoe's on the other foot. It's Blame F with the dink onto the teammate. They're so weak. He could finish them with a Galil spam. Run by. Detour on the drive-by, connects it, body up close, Tech 9. He's made some plays from this angle before. It's a labored tap with the Tech. They survive it. They're able to mount the retake, get themselves 12. They take us to an overtime. For Fnatic, winning this game means that they make it to the Shanghai Perfect World Major. For Eclot, it's another stepping stone, another chance at the RMRs. And now you've got to do it in the OT.
They battled back so bravely. It was 11-8 at one point. Looked like Fnatic had found a bit of form to take them into the Major. Sealing it up here into OT. Momentum shifting. Pressure firmly on Fnatic.
Let's go, guys.
Let's go fucking.
Yeah, they're fired up. Oh, obviously for Keita as well, it's a bit of a lifeline, right? Like you would have wanted the game closed in regulation, Vince, but at least you get a chance to talk to the team now. And mate, this is just what we need to see from them. This energy, them playing with such confidence, like Nuke coming alive at just the right time. We were constantly harping on him, saying like, where has he been compared to what we had seen with our own eyes previously versus Sangal, the series where he went from being bottom of the board for Eclot to top in the charts. Him alongside FaZe that's hitting great shots with the AWP, and it's CT side where he does his best work, Vince. This is always where he thrives.
The thing is though, for both teams, their CT sides were kind of bad. 10 out of the rounds went the way of CT. 14 on the T side. Fnatic was shambolic on their CT half for most of it. So it'll be interesting to see how this one shapes up, but Natus is the first man on the scoreboard in overtime. kreaz's woes continue. 10 kills, 45 ADR. Not the impact that we saw over on Inferno. Although FaZe is trained outside with his crosshair, the smoke is affording them the luxury of pushing down into secret. Will be Body that's taking the spear. Looking to drive it in the side of Eclot once more. Quite passive on this outside defense as well. Like, 2 players out here, but Blue and now Main. This is such an aggressive push from Nuke, but it's like late aggression. It's a strange one, but the timing could work out in his favor. Passes by Natus. Neither has any idea as to the other's position, and this is going to allow Nuke now to get round the back of them. If they stay in lobby, he could be in for a hatful of frags. This could be the deciding match and moment of this round. There's the first. Going to try and line up a second alongside it. First and second frags come in, and the bomb's been put down. Blitz now swipes in from Hut. And the Noose Titans. Lovely play from Nuke. Completely punishing Fnatic.
That is a brilliant round. Plays off the timing. Natus thought he had it covered. You get right under his nose, but the trigger discipline, it's so beautiful to watch, right? Nose, it's the AWP, pre-scoped in. I'm just going to play on the edge of it. Finds another pick, instant flick to him. It's going to be so hard to try and react from that. And you're probably having a bit of a head scratcher thinking, okay, how did he get outside on that one? I thought you had it covered. How's it gone like this? We were so ready for the burst towards A site. You told us it was fine. No one's there. Haven't seen the info outside. Or is there smirking? Like everyone's smiling at this point. Oh, and this was Natus who got the first pick as well. Crazy play from Nuke. He had assist for Blitz as well, so it's 2 prongs. You're able to swing out around the back, and Body on the ladder. Inaccuracy plagues him. 13-12, Eclot. It's a big CT round to get, Vince. Gets them off in good form.
It's great comms as well, because obviously Nuke, the entire time he's rotating around the back, he's like, I'm flanking. And Blitz is already in a forward position in Hut, so the second that first bullet hits ahead, he's wide swinging as well. They managed to get the crunch. Sandwich onto the lobby players. Eclot in the meanwhile now have the advantage, but for how long? Fnatic looking to try and bounce back as fast as possible. They haven't hit fast A too many times in regulation, and kreaz this time getting the upper hand. Detour puts it into a 3-on-5, and Crims may shut down Blitz from the back. There's 3 more players where that came from, one of which is kreaz now showing his hand in main and alleviating some of the pressure for FaZe, who straight away knocks Crims off his perch. And Eclot have the 2-round advantage now, Jackie, typically playing from behind for the bulk of this map. They started slow at a 5-1 deficit. Since that point, they've always been in this kind of weird position of ups and downs. But a 2-round lead at this stage is so huge. And Nuke doesn't even have a primary weapon. He's down with Tech 9.
Mate, this is rough. Cash has run dry, nothing to work with. AK surrounding him, nades are there, sure. And for Eclot, we saw how many near misses, near CT rounds they had where Fnatic were pulling off just shenanigans. Instead now, like, if you can actually get through this with all 3 of the CT rounds going into their T-half, which they look good on. As a timeline, they actually closed this one, but look at Crims. Oh, the power play. How's he got himself here? Gone down the vent, tucks into positions, giving all the information to his teammates. Doesn't make the reaction till it's just the right time. Tap in the back of the head onto FaZe, gives him a jump scare. The Blitz, firing back. Actually gets 2 from that with the assist to Detour. Quick trades, it's Crims coming alive at key points, assisting blameF down to a 2v2, minute on the mark.
That's a ridiculous hold by Blitz. The bomb's also out in the open. Now there is a smoke down there, but blameF's not sure as to where these CTs are. He's anticipating a peek, and it comes in, but Blitz gets the upper hand. A low blameF is finalized. As the bulk of the T's have been eviscerated in this round, and when you think of Crims, he was waiting that entire time to pull the trigger once the execute came in. He was waiting for the smokes to be tossed for the wall so they could explode out with flashbangs and just have this chaos. But it turns out that Blitz thrives when bullets are flying. And now Crims for 25 seconds not just has to try and deal with these 2 positions, one of which he doesn't know, but pick up the bomb and try and run straight to the B site. They'll have a good read of this now, Eclot. You'd fancy pushing down on the ramp. It's Blitz. And Crims is making so much noise. He is a dead man. And Eclot get a clean sweep on their CT side. And again, I repeat, in regulation, it was CT rounds that Fnatic was so desperately trying to get any of.
A clean sheet. A series that looks so rough for them. Now in a position to close it, set themselves up for that decider matchup, still have a chance to make the major, the dream, for all 5 of these players. Whereas for Fnatic, we're talking about the fact Crims, who would be his 17th major, tied 5th with Shocks and Zipniks. You factor in as well, Vince, like this would be Fnatic as an organization being able to pull ahead, tied with NIP at the minute, both with 16 major appearances.
Oh no. I didn't even see that the first time, Jackie. They pushed before the smoke even plumed. That's how Blitz got his 2 kills. I was thinking, how's he pulled that one off from heaven? They pushed without the smoke fully pluming. What are you doing? There was a flashbang, but that's not going to be good enough.
Oh dear. You can see the writing on the walls. That clock, you've come this far, just close it. Second half going live. Cash flow to work with, Nuke on the AWP. It's blameF with 25 kills to his name. He was the man that was making moves towards main with the flanks round the back, finding free Ks, multi-kills, being able to keep him in it. Keep Eclot on the ropes time and time again. They don't need to force the issue on this one. You can play a slow round out of it. Nuke boost on the box. Looking for the face if they peek together. Try and get a quick trade on it. I got the flashbang. Dive over. Baits out the crosshair. He tucks back in. So they get information about where the AWPer is and can just zone him out. Smoke up. Meanwhile, kreaz taking space outside. And FaZe. Oh, he might have read this one just right. It's blameF back towards the box, all the way towards spawn. There's the bullet, but no tag. His teammate swings. And this is what we were saying, Vince. They're so good at the trades. They play off each other so well.
Yeah, exactly. You see it in full transition there again, and Blitz has been pulled off by Nuke there. plucked out in his positioning, but Eclot still have ways forward. They force BlameF all the way back to the forklift. Dropping down. Fnatic, a team synonymous with Counter-Strike over the years, have always been up there. Had a dry, barren spell. As of late, this was a golden opportunity for them to get to another major. And it could still be doable, but they've lost Natus. And then BQ, Nuke himself, goes in on a weakened BlameF with 23 seconds left. Eclot now are on the precipice of maybe pulling off a huge upset, but Nuke says no. Orb trains in laser beams, and with 12 seconds, they've got to just push onto the site. There's no more room for error. Flick this time misses. Krim stands his ground and delivers, but Detour in position to strike. Post blank comes in, and it's all down to kreaz, and Nuke saves the day. A huge 3K in the round from the Swede, and Fnatic need to save 2 more times.
I'm getting flashbacks of Inferno. The misses from Nuke, the amount of rounds where he wasn't able to hit the target with the AWP. It was his rifle that he was performing with. Late into that game, it just kept going skew F for him time and time again. On this one, massive impact. It looked like it still could have gone so wrong, though.
Last side. Side.
Nice!
Oh, yeah, you hear that on the fadeaway. The oh my god, they're barely lingering on these rounds, Vince. It feels like so many times it should be over. Eclot. They afford themselves the luxury of the buffer, though, winning cleanly on their CT side. For Fnatic, you've got to force a double OT. That's all you're looking to contend with here.
Nuke putting in a real shift here on Nuke. 7 multi-kill rounds. By the way, here is a crazy stat. One you won't hear very often at all. Opening duels, BlameF is 10-0.
I can believe it, mate. I believe it from his CT side, right? Like, he was the one taking all the initiative. He was setting them up time and time again. No bait, all flame. He's just lighting them up whenever he gets the opportunity. But are they baited into a full sense of security that they can still bring this game back? Will it be Eclot? Check it out. With a 16-13 win, if they can still find a way to close this one. Nuke back towards ramp. We saw some highlights before. You've got to deliver this time. If they come running on in, he needs to be ready.
Well, that flash is pretty meek. And the second one's not going to be any better. They have at least, though, with the sacrifice of Nuke, forced away Nuke, as they look to try and reaggress. And we discussed how their overtime stats aren't great. They lost at this mark against Falcons, even though they had multiple chances. Will they run out of steam? Will history repeat itself? Body and Blame certainly hope so as they lay down the bodies on the deck. And it's another toothless T round on the side of Eclot. And they're buying to this one, not great either. Forzi and Nuke are going to be struggling to get a solid purchase in.
And that was the scary thing, right? That's literally what we were saying before. We've seen them struggle in the OTs. Even this time, you think, surely it's enough. Like, you get all the CT rounds on the board.
Yeah.
I thought that was a guarantee, basically, you'd be able to find this one. They use their one timeout they've got available to them in the overtime here, so replay can chime in again. Oh, Vince. Fnatic, living on borrowed time. It's all about the double OT for them. That's the only way they can still be able to pick this one up, close it down, and make the major.
Now, to put that 10-0 into perspective, by the way, for opening duels for BlameF, the entirety of Eclot over the last 28, 29 rounds, they have 6 opening duels across the entire team. That is how dominant BlameF has been in this game with 25 kills and 100 ADR. 26 kills now and 27 added in the last round, of course. Without him, this game would be over.
You mentioned his name. He might very well make plays to get us excited once again. He's been making moves inside of main. He was very aggressive early on, regulation CT side. He was pulling off flanks. This time he knows his limit. They're out, in through secret with a smoke. So he tucks back down, doubles up with Body. Body can take the brunt of the contact. If he finds one, then BlameF can swing in. They shouldn't expect the second man. They even pre-fire around the corner looking for the peek out. Body. He's had some great shots. He's antsy on this one, though. There's a nade to clear it. Again, it's all smokes and mirrors. You're leading them into just fight body while BlameF begins to activate. 2 kills there. Fragments the push. They bleed back around towards Decon.
Well, there's the brains and the brawn in tandem to deliver. Blitz already up close though on main side, and Mattis not sure. He's trying to watch multiple angles at once. Basically, Squeaky, main and Hut simultaneously. That's why he looks so paranoid about the peak coming out. He doesn't want to get wide swung in from the site. Detour's anticipating a rotation down into the vents. And Nork comes up, made so much noise in the process. Blitz gonna try and make the most of this one, but Nork no-scopes his head clean off. And that kill is everything for this round. If it went the way of Eclot, they could have executed off the back of that. Instead, though, they're in trouble. 14 seconds left now. And FaZe may have got one, but he's on 1 HP and gets finished off. It looks like we're heading to a second OT as Detour comes off the plant and Krims lays him down.
They won all 3 of their CT rounds in overtime cleanly. But it happens right back to them. They needed 1 round. Afforded themselves some absolute luxuries there. Looked so damn good going into it. The dream for Eclot, though, is it starting to fade away. Fnatic, can their 17th major appearance as an organization still be achieved? Can they be back to it? Keita getting involved again instantly.
And you feel like this is where experience and that veterancy really is going to come into a different level. Eclot have not been in this position before. None of the 5 players have been here. Krims has, in particular, multiple times. BlameF has been here. Body has been here. He's been around forever too. It would be hard to blame Eclot if they push the self-destruct button now, knowing they had 3 chances on the T side to seal the deal. They've got to somehow just shake it off, detox from that disappointment. They've done it before, they can do it again. Everyone is pulling their weight. kreaz may be a little bit behind the rest of the pack, but he's had some impact here and there. Detour's really stepped up out the shadows though in this overtime. But Blame continues to be a menace.
Just 1 shy of dropping the 30 bomb. So many rounds where he really has been the linchpin. Although Mattis is trailing, it's the impact of the frags he's been finding, and Nork. A few times it's looked slow. It's looked like he hasn't really been able to live up to what we would expect from him. There's some key shots, big moments, causing reverberations in the game. Mattis with the timing, able to get the push out round through Hut. He keeps going for these. Detour found the readjustment, but look at the damage. The battle of attrition, not good for Eclot here.
It really surprises me as well, Jackie, that we continue to see them testing Nork in these dry peaks, like these wide swings. He's nailed so many of these shots in this angle. He's clearly very comfortable in it. Can only assume that they anticipated that he'd be outside or elsewhere on the map. But Nuke effectively just gift wraps himself and gives the kill for free across. 30 seconds. Good positions by Fnatic, although Blitz is up close on elbow. His 2 teammates are way out in no man's land outside. They do have a smoke for the cross, but that would give away their positioning. 20 seconds. You've got to make a move now, guys. Damage done to Detour. kreaz is on the blue side, but they're waiting for Blitz to spring into action. And although he's got 1, that's not going to be good enough. And as Nork on the vents delivers 1 more time, and Fnatic take the lead.
The CT streak continues. A game that's been consistently back and forth. A slobber knocker of a series leading us to the 3rd map. And into the double OT, it's Fnatic leading with 1 under the belt. FaZe's AWP going a bit quiet as well, whereas Norks has just been singing more and more. Early utility cast out, set the bomb site ablaze over the top. Delay the outside hit. BlameF make it uncomfortable with the smoke as well, play behind that. He's been getting away with murder on some of these rounds. It's the different angles he's been switching up as well. Limited times we've seen him inside a garage, but he found impact previously. Nade's good for a bit more chip onto the Eclot players.
That's always the luxury of having a player like Blame that is such a smart individual that he can kind of make his own calls on when he should push and when he should back off. You don't have to micromanage him anywhere near as much. Right now in the garage, haven't really seen him play this spot too often. He's always going to be a threat outside though. And he has Krims as well to try and deliver a bit of crossfire. He's in a little bit of a different angle though, so for the time being, Blame is by himself. Another smoke put down into Squeaky. They're doing a really good job of choking out as much time off the clock as possible. And having a look across to the sands of time, Eclot have decided maybe outside isn't the play. They're going to start to congregate over on A, but these two positions right now, Mattis and Body, are so terrifying. They need some Molotovs down preceding this peak. Otherwise, it could be curtains. And Body's waiting. He knows the push is imminent, but still comes out second best. Nuke takes him out, and now Mattis gets caught in two angles. Down he goes. Eclot with a clean take on A.
That's massive. You saw FaZe going back towards T-Roof with a Molotov. I thought he was setting himself up to set top hut ablaze, like you were saying. It's been in place so many times for them, and Mattis usually has been farming from there. This time, obviously, it's Body that's on the angle, and Mattis further up, around towards Mustang, and somehow just gets nothing. They're able to get out, make it look clean. And I was worried again it was going to be a similar sort of outcome to what we've seen from this T side, where it feels like it's real slow, sort of paralysis by analysis, right? Like they're overthinking some of the rounds. It feels like what was winning them rounds, which was faster tempo plays, where they're just being able to hit their shots, was starting to cool off massively. More worried about the equilibrium of the firepower now being way closer together. But mate, I mean, they tie it up. They get themselves a T round the first time, what feels like forever.
Yeah. When it was 7 unanswered CT rounds, right? 2 clean sweeps. And the first one of this, which completely goes against the overall, how the pendulum was looking in regulation, where it was mainly T-side rounds, but a lot of that was based off economy and constant force buys and these super nitty-gritty 2v2, 3v3 clutches. So now the economy isn't really as much of a factor. You're seeing it start to swing more in that favor. Really good take though, man. Like, I think Body's going to be bitterly disappointed at himself not at least getting 1 kill in the approach, because he had all the information he could have asked for. He knew players were in Squeaky for a long time.
What's the call this time from Eclot? Nades in the hands. Skylight set up for Detour, a bit paranoid in case Blame F goes for the flank. Obviously, he's conditioned them to think about that due to the amount he's been pulling out. Little moves towards outside. Little glimpses, look-ins for either team. No one wants to budge just yet though. Detour's so paranoid about the flank. Blame's just tucked himself into the off angle. FaZe comes back to link up with him. Set up for the utility through the roof. Set the bomb site ablaze, go for the run on out. That one's going to miss though. Molly doesn't land down. Max on the back of the bomb site, got assist from Body. First good, Nuke doesn't expect a second. Body with one. Krims up top from the top rope, able to elbow drop in. Shut down Detour. Dive straight back. Nork goes up but eats the nade.
Oh, nade also tossed in. That was going to soften up kreaz and Blitz and may force him off the bomb. No, they stick it. Full confidence in the utility, tossed out a good flash as well, stalls and stymies the peek in, but Blame F forever in the shadows, forever the boogeyman in this best of 3 is about to devour, is about to pop off one more time, or perhaps not. kreaz puts the guillotine down and deals with their nemesis. There's now Krims looking to try and evacuate onto the A site. 1 kill goes in, but 10 HP, can't even drop down comfortably, otherwise gravity will seal this round up. Smoke in for the full-on defuse, comes off it though, baits FaZe who runs out of the ammunition, but shanks him where he stands. And Eclot will have the advantage come that second half.
Hands in the air for FaZe with a celebration. An important round, 2 on the T side. Oh, Krims as well, bro. Thinking he had a good fighting chance in that situation with the kills that he was being able to pick up. Thought he was still on the bomb site, dancing around the back of the silo. Oh. Scrappy CS again, always down to the wire. It's never clean, it's never how you think it's going to go. The two-player setup at the back of the site. Yeah, honestly, with Nuke running around the corner, I thought this was going to be lights out. You're just going to be able to get the uppercut off, dude.
100%. It's even like a 3-player stack, right? Because they had 2 players back of site and Crims on heaven.
Yeah.
So when you have that kind of a stack, you're thinking, right, they're going to lock this one down, but it seemed disjointed. One of the players peeked left side by himself without the second player showing, and I think they were trying to bait in for the idea of, oh, right, you've dealt with our lone site player, well done, guys, and then the snake in the grass shows itself. Without Crims fully popping off from heaven, it just left the entire setup like null and void, really. And they had to play alone. So 17-16, Eclot. So much credit, so much respect. The fact that they let 3 rounds, 3 match points slip by, but are still in. They didn't lose their heads. They're still fighting. They're still scrapping this one out.
It's been the story of the RMR for them. Always on the back foot, always forced to try and recover games, always looking for a way back in. The comeback kings. Can they still give themselves a chance to make it to the decider matchup? Can Eclot surprise us all? Slow around here. Fnatic, you know, their T side, a lot of it was outside takes down through secret. They were finding tons of success towards B. Crims was getting so many lucky timings as well with the backstabs through vent.
Thing as well, when you consider how this game started, I imagine there's a lot of people just joining the stream now, waking up early in the morning thinking, how's Fnatic doing? Oh, wait, 3rd map OT? What the hell? They won 13-4 on the first map. Who would have possibly anticipated it going down onto Nuke and then being this close? And yet here we are. That is our current predicament. 40 seconds, they have ramp control. But what can they do with it? kreaz spotted ahead for just a moment. A pixel protruded over the box. It was Mattis. But he goes unchecked and is still able to sit outside and wait.
And waiting's what they're doing, biding their time for the execute on this one. Blame F. Despicable shot round the corner and Blitz is overwhelmed. One by one, they find the kills. Forzy's on the ladder. One shot onto body. But Blame F with a rapid trade and the round goes down the pan. So close on time. So tight to it being Fnatic letting this one slip through the fingertips. And Nuke. He was a star player on ramp, but if no one challenges him, if no one gives him an opportunity, he's going to find no impact. Exactly. Finished off there, man.
Exactly, 100%. They've done such a good job of avoiding him. He's just not... I don't think he's playing bad. I think he's just slowed down because he's not seen that much impact. You can see there, this is in overtime, of course. In regulation, he was popping off. Not so much here in OT. And that kind of just... If anything, it just builds into your case that you're kind of putting forward. He's been avoided. He's basically been neutralized in this OT period, but he has the secondary AWP here. We have not seen a double up setup in any CT side, but Eclot are pulling it out right now.
This is a massive change for them. Investing a ton into it as well. You want to get yourself the 18th, set yourself up for the victory. Could leave them in a really rough spot. Blitz. He's had so many opportunities to really show us what he's made of, but again, they would have made it a bit uncomfortable on the start. Forzy grouped up. Meanwhile, dives down. He tucks back in. He's able to get out. Okay, so he hasn't gone down. He's able to at least back off and stay alive. But it's the other AWP of Forzy that's been so successful. Body being fed the frags. They're giving him the 1v1s. The swing back out towards the door. No one can trade it. Meanwhile, the upper site's about to get overwhelmed. Blitz, he spams back through. Body finally goes down. But they've got what they wanted from this, Vince. The A site is theirs.
Yeah, and Detour's so low, they've only got 1 HG between the 3 of them. And considering they went for a double AWP setup, they are going to have such bad money in the next round if they lose. The pressure is fever pitch levels right now for Eclot, and they know it. Already half of that time is gone. I think they'll have to save. How brutal is that as an outcome in OT? Playing in a potential elimination point, that because you went for 2 AWPs that had pretty much negligible impact, you have to save in this round and play for your tournament life in the next one.
Terrorists win.
Absolutely savage. The double orb setup gets nothing. Nuke, he's been delivering with the pistols, with the rifles. See him on the scope there for the first time, and it's not pretty. And just like that, forced into the save. Fnatic's T-side take the lead. Eclot, it's back to basics. They've got to do it all over again. It has to be a third overtime. For Fnatic, the Major's right on the cards once again.
Doesn't matter how you get to the Major. Just get that W if you're Fnatic. Oh, there's another smoke that's missed out, I think. It landed on top of main. Well, it has actually fully plumed, so it's okay. And they've got a second one alongside it for the outside play. Additionally, that smoke inside of Squeaky is keeping Krims and Mattis at bay. So Fnatic can't make the most of this anyway. Are they really going to peek in this? Are they really going to push with so much on the line? The courage it takes. And it's backfired. Oh, it's backfired spectacularly. That could be the play that seals it up.
Krims cuts him in half. And Nuke on the run out can do nothing. Krims. A monstrous round from him. kreaz detected in the vent, and it's Krims that's got his eyes honed on him. Flash up. But this one's all going wrong. Fnatic, you just got to post up, get it over the finish line, take the 19th here, make it to the Shanghai Major, finish off Eclot. You've got him on the edge. It's only one man remaining. kreaz running out towards main. He's got the molly. He can burn on the Krims. He's down and out, but look how little time he has. He's got to go, and Nork is watching it. It takes 2 overtimes, but Fnatic finally finish it. They go back to the Major. The organization, again, with another attendance, now tied with MOUZ.
Yeah, a moral victory for Eclot, I want to say. I mean, obviously high
come on.
emotions from fail Fnatic, but